Am I muted still?
No,
No, I'm
good
not.
now.
Okay, no, my.
You're good.
I'm like trying to listen to you actually talk and then trying to listen to the stream. I
Yeah,
was not born to multitask, despite
yeah,
what people may assume.
yeah. I mean, I'm. It's like I've tried multitasking a few times. Depends on the task for me. It's like if I've got two things I can just go in conjunction, it's good. Sometimes no.
I could play 2 games at once. Does that count?
I mean, yeah, that can count.
My friends hated it when I would be playing Apex with them and tab out, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm doing Genshin.
I'm doing Genshin now.
Guys, I gotta do my resin. Buddy, we're in the middle of a fight. Yeah, but my resin.
Yep. But yes.
It's not a problem, guys.
But it's like we finally have Bunienade here in the house of Cola.
I replied to DMs.
Yeah, it's like Bunny replied to DMs.
Take a picture. It's not gonna last forever.
It's like caught in 4K. DMs reply to.
Oh my! It's like anytime someone gets a DM reply from me, to screenshot it.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
Put it in a museum. Memorable moments of when Bunny replies to DMs.
Oh, that's so funny. Just imagine someone does like a big collage on Twitter of all the DMs that have been replied to.
Google would have quite a lot, but I also know there are some times he's just like, "It's taken 3 days. Where are you?"
Yeah, it's like, where'd you go? What's happened?
I fell down a rabbit hole.
It's like no, I was just playing Genshin.
Honestly, if I don't reply for a large period of time, 99% of the first thing I get when I do reply was, "Were you doing Genshin?" I'm like,
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it's like I think since we were talking about off stream, like the Macca's menus, we could probably start talking about that first.
You were saying to me you didn't have chicken tendies, though. You can't lie to me.
Yeah, we don't. I'm sad.
You don't have chicken. You have chicken tendies. Like the chicken wraps, right?
Yeah.
The crispy chicken wraps, like the crispy chicken thing in it.
I think so.
You don't just have that in a box that you buy.
No, we don't have that in a box.
That's so bizarre to me because we have that.
Yeah, it's like when I
thought
when I traveled to the Netherlands and I just saw freaking like tenders in a box at Macca's, I was just like, what? Like,
yeah, and they're like, oh, the dip is so good. I'm going through the menu now. Sorry.
I've got the menu up too.
If you hear my stomach growling, it's because I'm looking at McDonald's.
It's like just looking at Macca's menu, going.
Oh god, my mouth's watering.
I think one thing that Macca's here just introduced was the McSpicy chicken burger.
Oh, we have that. I haven't tried it yet. Actually, or did we have it? Was it an event thing? I know we had it at one point, and I was like underwhelmed because I expected it to be spicier, but it was just like it just tasted like chicken.
Yeah, like I think at least here when it comes to sort of, I guess, like a good spicy sort of takeaway food, I think for Australians it's probably usually KFC instead of Macca's for spicy takeaway chicken. It's, I don't know, KFC is actually pretty decent.
I mean,
yeah, but
I was about to say yeah, but then like I remembered, like you can just go to like your local takeaway here and then get like really spicy like curry like chicken like stuff. Is like amazing. So it's like I don't know, because I've been like gotten stuff from KFC, been like it's mid spicy, and then I've gotten something from like one of the like what I don't know if there's like Chinese places that do it spicy, but I've also had some stuff from like India, and I'm just like, oh my god. So I don't know, because we have a lot of spicy food here. Because we stole spices from people back in the day, didn't we? We just like tell people, I'm like, give us your spices.
It's like, give me those spices now. Yeah.
So I heard you had spices.
Yeah.
That's what we're good at here. We're good at stealing things from people.
Oh, like I think Australia's pretty good at that too. But
No, you're in jail.
well, yeah, we're just all
Sorry.
we're just all of the convicts from the UK. So
yeah, you're the convicts that we stole.
Yeah, it's like you stole a loaf of bread. You're going to Australia now.
Hello, person from the Middle East.
Yeah, like we yeah, I think one thing that Australians, I guess, invented, but we took stuff from the Middle East kind of, was the halal snack pack. So we took we took all the kebab sort of meat and stuff and just was like, yeah, we're just gonna make a halal snack pack with that.
Oh, kebab. No, you told me in DMs this is gonna end up as food.
Yes, yeah. A lot of these podcasts end up with food.
Wait, Gordon Ramsay, we're talking about food now.
It's like, just imagine Gordon Ramsay comes in and it's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
What is this shit fest? I love, or is something so funny is everyone outside of like England thinks about like Gordon Ramsay for chefs, but I think mostly of Jamie Oliver.
Oh, Jamie Oliver, yeah.
Because I don't know, like Gordon Ramsay is just such a meme now that like I can't take anything he does serious. Like he does like great like cooking, and I'm gonna say chefing. He does great chefing.
Yeah, great chef.
And my brain just instantly is just like, no.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna like make a meme. He's gonna swear at someone, call him a donkey or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he's probably just gonna be like, what, you guys liking Macca's and KFC, you donkeys.
That dude cannot turn around and tell me he's never had a McDonald's at one point and just enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think he actually has enjoyed it to an extent. I think I saw a video of him enjoying Macca's and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Sometimes you're just in that mood where you just sit down and you're like, I just want a Big Mac and a large fries.
Yes.
And a Coke. I'm gonna live happy for 5 minutes.
That's me.
Because that's as long as it's lasting.
That's me, but like with the KFC tender box here, I'm just like, give me those freaking tenders, give me a Pepsi, and just like, I just want to eat some chicken. I just want to eat chicken.
I feel like I maybe it's a me thing. I never like, I like chicken nuggies and chicken tendies, but I never got like this obsession that like some people have where they're just like chicken.
I never used to be like that. I never used to be like that, but then I think
what happened?
The pandemic happened.
No. Yeah, understandable. Have a nice day.
Understandable. Nice day. Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah, yeah.
I was just like,
I kind of got like that.
Yeah, I was just like that, where I was just like, nah, I don't want to try and go out anywhere because I can't literally. So,
no.
So I'm just gonna order some KFC, see what they have, and just freaking eat this.
Yeah, so. There was this thing that I made almost a religion out of, which was ordering from Starbucks or like the bubble tea places and getting like the most exotic like frappes and stuff. So now I have this like obsession with getting like all this stuff to make coffees and stuff out of, which I think chat's probably worked out, because I would always be like, I've got my coffee, guys, and they're like, hydrate, and I'm like, which, do I drink my coffee?
Yeah. Me, I would just be like I'm like me, I'd just be like, oh, like, you want me to hydrate? I've got a can of Pepsi here. Does that count?
You're team cola, but you're drinking Pepsi?
That's my go-to.
Excuse me. That's not cola. That's Pepsi.
Nah,
it's a lie.
I count all of them. I count all of them. I count all of them.
No. No. That's Pepsi. That ain't cola. What makes it cola? Like, what makes cola?
That's a good question, I guess.
What makes, because we all know why Coca-Cola is called Coca-Cola, but that's not a Twitch safe chat.
I mean, technically, Pepsi at one point was called Pepsi Cola, so I'll count that.
But it's the insert of the first word that made it.
Yeah, true.
This is a genius marketing campaign when you think about it. Like, get them hooked on the addiction.
Yeah.
Keeps them coming back for more. Remove it. Now you have a brand.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't have, it's like, oh, this is not cola, this is Pepsi. This is different.
This is Pepsi Cola. Now I'm gonna Google up what makes cola.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
It's literally just told. It's just carbonated water.
It's just carbonated water. It just has a bit of flavoring in it.
Okay, understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's just because it's got a carbonated water in it. Understandable. Yeah. So Fanta. Oh, is it because of like the caramel stuff they put in it? Oh, maybe. Well, that makes sense.
I guess so. So yeah,
Welcome
I guess
to school.
we're learning about definitely healthy ingredients, not anything that's going to be very bad for you at all.
Cheese. Wait, cheese is bad for me.
It's like,
I mean, if you eat too much cheese is just so bad. Like, it tastes so good, and then like small doses is good for you, but then it's just like melted fat, isn't it? So it's kind of like, ugh. And you think about it.
Yeah, it's like, for me, it's like, do I eat too much chicken and takeaway? Nah.
No. I'll say that the day I die from it, and then I'll be like, maybe I did, but that's, you know what they say, right? Live a good life, not a long life.
It's like, I lived a good life. I ate chicken.
like I felt bad for my mom because I always said that to her, and she's like, no, you want to live a long, healthy life. And I went, no, I'd rather be happy and die at 30 than miserable and die at 80.
True.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I've come into this world out of the womb and had too many experiences and just turned around one day and went, fuck it, I just want to be happy.
Yeah. I mean, this might be... I don't know if this will be a bit too much information, but I guess, well, for me, because I was born 3 months early, I was just like, nah, get me freaking out of there. I want to live. I want to live. So
I don't want to be in there anymore.
I don't want to be in there anymore.
Get me out.
Yeah, so I was just like, yeah, I'm popping out. Here we go. Cool. I'm coming out to eat chicken.
Give me the breastfeed me chicken.
It's like, I've just got that Chris Broad freaking inner energy. Just give me all the chicken.
Oh my god. You're Chris Broad, aren't you?
Yeah. I remember.
Where's Connor?
I put up on, I think I replied to something on Twitter once, and I just used the meme of like, that's Chris Broad, right? I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm pretty sure it was somewhere. Oh, I gotta find it.
Somewhere in your thousands of tweets.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder if I'll be able to find
It's a tweet deep dive now.
It's deep now. Yeah, it's probably too deep now.
Go swimming. Go on.
It's like, god damn it.
I archive all your really good tweets.
I wish I did.
Every time I have a really good tweet, I like screenshot it.
Oh, I found this was a tweet from CDog where it was just like, Iron Mouse is my favorite VTuber, and then I just comment, that's Chris Broad, right? And I put a picture of him in his studio.
That is golden.
Yeah, I was just like, that's Chris Broad, right? And then like suddenly 44 people just came back and liked it. I was like,
Bro,
okay.
when you make like a meme like that on a post and then people actually like it, it's because I made like it was back when Lord Athelston was like looking for like a booth pack cover, like album cover, and
Yeah.
I jokingly was like, haha, I'm gonna whip something up in paint in like 3 minutes. Did it, posted it. Him and like 70 people replied, and I'm like, what did I do
Oh
wrong?
god. Oh god. It's like when you get noticed by the big VTubers and you're just like, huh?
Did I do something wrong?
It's like, did I do something?
Like, honestly, like I feel like I did that like with Pandora.
Yeah.
I was like, did I do something wrong, senpai? Because like I've watched her since her debut, and like
Same.
I was like so scared since she just like appeared one day and then she started getting friendly. I'm like, what? How did you get here?
I still remember.
How did you find me?
I still remember one time, I think this was really early on, like when Pandora first started and like the other VTubers from the group at the time, Cyberlive. I was like, I was just like, oh yeah, I'll join their server, and then they were like saying, oh, we're gonna be playing Among Us at some point, and do you all want to join? And I was like running, going, I'm gonna join this, and just like, and we were just all hanging out in Discord, and I think in there, Hilo was in there, and Pandora were in there, and I ended up playing Among Us with them, and that was so fun because me and Pandora, we were imposters, and
she's so sweet. I love
she is.
her. I'm sorry, I just want to say she's so sweet and cute, and man, she's just so talented. And I honestly hope like one day everyone else can see how amazing she is. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there.
She is really amazing to talk to and like just chill out with in Discord. And I haven't like checked out one of her streams in such a while though. But
she streams. I mean, it's based on time zones, but she streams at such an awkward time for me to catch. Like it's either really late or really, really early, and I hate it because I wish I could watch more, but then I'm just there like, great.
Yeah, I think.
Or it's when I
stream. Yeah, like for me, I think when you start streaming, it's sometimes I get lucky and it's like maybe 9 p.m, 10 p.m for me. So I'm like, oh yeah, I can catch like an hour or two, and then sometimes I just end up going, I'm just going to stay up and watch.
No, you shouldn't do that. I'm not worth it. I'm like watching like a fucking ball paint wall dry.
I mean, I probably say the same about my streams where I'm just like, does anyone really care about my streams? But
I feel so like guilty like when people like, I stayed up to watch you stream, and I'm like, I am not worth it. Like if you turned around and told me you stayed up to watch like Pandora or like like Vivi or Uni or Dia to stream, I'd be like, yeah, awesome. I would do that too. But like me, I am so boring. I don't even know how I like keep a conversation going.
No, I gotta say, like I find like I think because I've watched your streams for quite a while, I guess now. Like
yes, you have. You're probably one of my first Twitch viewers, actually. Now I think about it.
Yeah, because I think the first time I watched you, because I actually noted this down just for a bit of a history sort of dive, I guess. Like
what?
It's like the first time I think I watched you was when you did a Phasmo collab, which was a long time ago. Like
which one?
Okay, so I think it was one with Taiji, Strike, and Momo. I think at the time.
Yeah, that was you. You were there pre-1000. I knew you were there for a long time, but Jesus,
I remember your OG. Your OG model back then.
That model was so bad. I feel fun. It's funny because Kugel added the extras to that and rigged it.
Okay.
And he looks back on it and he's like, man, that sucks.
No, I thought it was good though. Like, I mean, maybe because I don't judge VTuber models so much, like with like the details. I'm just like, hey, it's a character.
I liked it a lot, and this is something that I don't talk about this a lot. I've mentioned it a few times. I loved that design. Like out of most of them, I wanted to keep it most like that with just maybe a few color palette changes. and like a little bit of like tidy up to the design.
Okay.
But it was during like the huge ass boom
Yeah.
on like Twitter, like huge boom of VTubers.
Oh
And
yeah.
loads of like sort of, I'm gonna call them V-tweeters, which is a probably not healthy thing to say. We're all tweeting like what's ugly about VTuber designs and your VTuber design should look like this, and this. And it kind of, because I wasn't doing well mentally, it got in my head that I had to look a certain way to do well.
Yeah.
And it kind of stuck with me because I was like, it's not entirely what I wanted. Like, I love this design. I'm very proud that I made this design. But I look back and I'm like, this isn't entirely what I wanted from a design. But
Yeah.
VTuber Twitter convinced me that if I wasn't pink, cute, and looking a certain way, it wasn't gonna do well. But then I realized in the end that design really doesn't matter at all. Because you
True.
could be a PNG fucking toothpick, and as long as you're funny and entertaining and the right people find you, you could grow. Like, you're not gonna grow overnight. Like,
Yeah.
hello, Rome wasn't made in a day or 2 or 3. You're
True.
gonna take time, develop as a person, and, like, people will like the little thing that represents you because it represents you, not because it's iconic. It looks like freaking Iron Mouse. Sorry, I just had to throw it on out there.
Yeah. Like I do remember around that time, like when a lot of people were sort of coming into the VTubing space. Like there was just so many people with like, oh, live 2D model reveal, and it's like they spent
Yeah.
suddenly like thousands. And I'm just like you haven't even debuted yet.
I don't lie, like, I love, like, all the things I got done with this design. I love the model, all the music, and, like, all the assets that I got done with it. So, like, I don't hate the design, but I look back and I wish if I could even just tweak the design slightly, I think I would like it a whole bunch more, which is why I kinda wanna keep the design, like, some of the design, and then just sort of repurpose it so it does look like it's kinda just, like, a restyle. But man.
Yeah.
It's just, I know how much I spent on this and all the assets that came with it, and I internally just go, "Ouch." Don't do that for your first ever model, trust me, don't.
Yeah, because I remember
Such a bad idea.
at that time, and I was just thinking, man, like there's so many VTubers coming up, and like they've all spent like thousands of dollars on their VTuber model at the start. Do they even know where they're gonna go yet? Like, do they know how it's gonna go already? Like,
I wanna throw someone out there that I know doesn't stream anymore. She spent, I can't remember if she said it was like $3,000 or $4,000 on all her stuff. It doesn't stream anymore.
oh wow,
She streamed like 3 times.
wow,
That's it.
yeah.
And it's like, why? Why do that?
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe it's like I'm guessing they thought they were gonna really like streaming. Maybe they just didn't like streaming in the end.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? If you don't like streaming, there's no point to putting all this money into streaming, which is one of the reasons why I'm constantly like, I don't know if I want to upgrade like PC parts and stuff because I'm scared it'll drop off. Whereas if I upgrade like if I just get a new console and just stream from a console, I know that'll be fine. Because like
Yeah,
if I upgrade my PC, it's not really to play games like it is like if you get a new console, it's primarily for streaming. And I
yeah,
don't know if I wanna put it into that because sometimes, like, you kinda go through, I say blips and blobs when I don't know if you do, but, like, especially if mental health dips really low when you don't have any motivation, and then
yeah,
it gets high again and you have motivation, and it's just like, it doesn't matter if you love streaming at your high, if you're depressed, you just don't like anything.
yeah,
So then it's like, I don't wanna go through that and then stop streaming, and then it'd be a waste of money.
yeah. Like I found like I think because when I first started streaming, I started streaming just as an IRL streamer, and
Mm.
like I
Honestly, I
was
remember your face.
yeah, I was just
Sorry.
doing yeah, it's like I was doing that for a while, and then I guess when the VTubing trend really picked up, like because I was friends with a lot of VTubers and I really liked the idea of VTubing. I was like, how about do a switch, see if it's fun, and I didn't obviously want to go full in on spending like a bunch of money on like a live
Oh
TV
yeah.
and stuff. But I did think about it at some points, and then I'm just like, no, let's just try a V-Roid model or something, just see how it goes. And
I love V-Roid models. Sorry,
yeah, it's like
you could do so much of them.
I found that in recent times V-Roid's gotten a lot better, like with a lot of different stuff now.
Yeah, like you can just do so much of them. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like the most 3D artistic person in the world, so it's not easy. I can do little doodles much easier than I can 3D model, but it's so great just to get a rough idea out. And you can
Yeah.
just use it to be like, this is the kind of gist we're going for. And then if you want later on, you can get it. Like some 2D artists are so cheap. Like
Hmm.
there's some I found I loved. I was like, no fucking shit. How are you £200 for a fucking piece of art? And then you can get some rigs done for like £50. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy. Like,
crazy.
yeah, because I was like looking at prices at the time, and I was like, man, like, do I want to spend 700-800 Australian dollars? And
Do not do a me.
I was like, do I want to spend $700-800? But then I was like, is this? What if I don't like being a VTuber? So I was like, okay, well, I'll just go with the V-Roid, and sometimes with the PNG as well. So it's
Like being a VTuber isn't like being I don't know how to express it's not like it's just streaming but with a mask on. It's like if you cosplay
yeah,
to stream. It's not like I think most people think it's like being a character or being a role. It's not like if you sign up for the role of playing a character in a game, it's you've got to it's like you're marketing yourself basically.
yeah.
I guess that's where, like, collabs and stuff come in, right? So you gotta market for your collabs, which I hate that term. I hate
Oh
that
yeah,
term.
yeah. It's like I hate the idea of it like being like, oh, we're gonna market this collab or we're gonna promo this, but I'm just
Yeah,
like,
like,
it's the only way. It's the best term I can use, I guess, to kind of say to
it
people, hey, we're doing something.
I hate this, like, mentality in VTubing where it's like, if you're not pushing to grow constantly, then you're a failure,
Yeah,
and it's like, you can want to grow without wanting to push to grow, if that makes sense. Like, you
yeah,
don't have to be like, "Oh, man, I'm on the grind 24/7." You could just be like, "Well, I just wanna grow as a VTuber and have fun. I don't wanna mentally be like, man, I gotta fucking do this, this, and this." Like,
yeah.
that's so unhealthy.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'd say, like, for myself, like, I still look at what I've done in the last almost 2 years of streaming, actually, funny enough. Like, I look at what I've done and I go, hey, I've still done some fun stuff. Like, I might not be happy with everything I've
Mm.
done, but it's like, I still look at it and go, hey, I've achieved something. I've done better than I thought I would. And
Yeah, like,
I just like to look at it
it's
from the
just
positive end.
you look at it like, that's, like I think that's something, so many more need to do is just look at it from the positive end and be like, I I have done this and this and this instead of so many of them being like, "Well, I'm not there, I'm not here, and I'm not there," and it's like, "Of course you're not. You're not
Yeah,
them." So, you kinda aren't gonna, like your, like, 2 steps might be someone else's 5 steps, but then your
yeah,
2 steps also might be someone else's, like, barely a step. So, it's
yeah,
okay to go slowly, and
yeah.
it's if you for some people, like, it took me, like, about 6 months to be willing to even consider doing a collab with someone,
Hmm,
and then it's taken me nearly 2 years to start really reaching out to people that I'm not in a close-knit group with to start asking for collabs with, which is
true.
if you told me 2 years ago I was gonna just randomly waltz into a stranger's DMs and be like, "Let's do a fucking stream together," I would've told you lying to me.
Yeah, it's like, what is these lies you're telling me?
No, motherfucker, I'm never talking to now I can happily have a conversation with a stranger without having a panic attack.
Yeah, yeah. I used to like. I guess this summarized me before I sort of, I guess, came out into the adult world, and I guess
Congratulations on
into
becoming an adult.
before I came into the adult world and stuff. Like, I was just in high school, like super shy with people. Like, I would only have my tight knit group of friends, and if I wanted to talk to someone else, like if I to become friends with or whatever, I would just be like nervous and be like, how do I approach this person? What do I do? But then I got into a couple of different job roles where I was just like, I basically had to talk to people. So I was just like, okay, now my social anxiety is like freaking through the roof, but I just got to do it. So
that's what working in a shop is like. It's just like, you just gotta freaking do it.
Yeah, it's like working in the shop or an office or anything.
You take that with streaming, and then you just make a social anxiety destroyer.
Yeah, you just go like, here's whatever this is. Okay, be gone, social anxiety.
Like obviously, like there is still some there if you have social anxiety. There is still like this thing, like my brain going into this was, I fucked up the date. They're gonna find me boring. I'm gonna be a nuisance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was so much easier for me to just pick it up and be like, sup?
Yeah. It's
yo,
like,
how you doing?
I still have like, I guess like from time to time, even with like the podcasts I do, like I started the podcast series thinking, man, this is gonna suck. No one's gonna watch this. Everyone's just gonna be so bored. And
but it doesn't matter if people are watching it. Are you having fun doing it?
Yeah, it's like I'm having fun doing it. It's like
What's the point then?
Yeah, it's like when I first started the series, I was like, I want to try this idea. Like, it's like I was like, trash taste podcast. That looks pretty cool. How about I do my own thing? And
I love that idea. Like just bringing on loads of like little, like I want to see a big VTuber, like bring on like loads of just indie ones that have like 50 or like 100 followers, and then just be like, ta-da!
Yeah, it's like this series basically started with the idea of going, I want to bring on streamers, VTubers, like artists, whoever. Dogs. Anyone, like even dogs.
I can't wait to see your first dog stream.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, and how was your day, dog? And it'll be like, rough, and it'll be like, oh, good. It'll be so funny. But
he's just like, oh, give me treats.
Yeah, but like, I started off going, okay, I want to just interview random, like, friends, streamers, VTubers, whoever. Doesn't have to stick to one sort of particular group. And then sometimes the idea would be, how about bring them back at some point to come on again and just talk about something else at some point.
Oh god, you're gonna ruin me for conversations unless we turn the next one into a Genshin podcast.
Oh, this will be funny because I have this concept at the moment that I have been working on where I want to bring back like guests from the past but mash them up with another person. So there's like 3 guests instead of just like, well, 3 people instead of 1, I guess. So like it's just random.
Oh god.
So then
you just see me someone else and be like, do you like Genshin? And you're like, I hate it. And I'm like, I can't be here anymore.
It'd just be so funny. Like, I've already started working on overlays for it, and I've already started the concept for bringing potentially 2 people back that I've had on before. So it'll be really funny to see how it goes.
That will be... It's as though they don't get on and they set the stream on fire and you're in between them like, oh no.
I mean, I guess I'm putting myself in that position where I'm just going to be there in the middle. That's just like, what's going on here? But it would just, it'd be hilarious. One of them's a cat
person and one of them's a dog person. What do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. Or it's like, oh wait, it's like now we have 2 bunny VTubers here. What?
I'm not a rabbit. I've told you I'm a human. I just wear a rabbit hoodie. Look, see, human ears.
It's like I just call you Bunny because Bunienade.
Everyone does that, and I'm not a bunny.
It's
that's a very common mistake, right? Everyone thinks I'm a bunny. Is that shit spelled like motherfucking rabbit to you? No, it's spelled like someone's dumb and can't spell.
It's like fair. Yeah, but it's like there'll just be so many like so many people that will just come back on. I'll just be like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Shit. Just stop being a regular gaming like streamer, start turning into a podcaster.
I mean, like this series has started off as a monthly sort of thing, and there's like been the idea, like some people saying, "Oh, you should make it like every couple of weeks." I'm just like, but then I've got to plan that.
I mean, if you've got enough people, like if you've got like 6 people lined up, then you might as well do it like every couple of weeks, like instead
True.
of being like, oh, we're gonna do it every month.
Yeah,
Because like, let's say you've got like 5 people lined up after me, right? That's
yeah.
gonna take you like 5 months, and then you're gonna build up more in that time.
True, true. Like I had this idea because I do have like a list of people I'm sort of looking at and going, okay, do I want this person next or do I want this person? And then I'm just like, and then I have to go, okay, but now I've got to go DM them. Now I've got to figure out when they're free. And
For yes, it's awkward, especially if like Australia's not actually real, so no one lives.
yeah, Australia's just kind of irrelevant. We're just kind of like we don't exist to anyone's eyes. So it's like,
I mean, pretty much, I could erase you on a world map and no one would notice.
or except
You're just in your own little corner of the world, just down there.
And then some people just gonna be like, wait, wasn't there a land with like kangaroos and Vegemite and stuff? Nah.
The shit's a kangaroo.
Yeah, it's like, wait, wasn't there? It's like, no.
The shit is a kangaroo.
I mean, the good thing would be like, hey, you got rid of a bunch of spiders from the world, so.
Oh, burn them.
It's like, I'm pretty sure the bushfires probably do enough of that.
Good, because they shouldn't exist, especially those freaking what are they, wolflower, like fucking spiders. Those things are huge.
Oh, it's like I do have some spider stories, but I'll save it for a little bit.
No. Oh god, no. Do you want to hear my spider story, which actually developed my arachnophobia?
Sure.
You're gonna love this, right? Okay. I must have been about 6 or 7, so that was like a while ago now. And I had this spider I found. It was quite a big spider. One of those actually I say that like a British house spider looks like. Really quite a big spider. Not even just in comparison to a 7-year-old tank. It was just a big spider.
Right.
And I was like playing with it in like my hands, like how you let spiders sort of crawl over you.
Oh yeah.
And I have really, really long hair, and this spider managed to get from my hand into some of my hair that was like dangling forwards, and then crawl in it, and then get really tangled in it.
Oh.
Which obviously stressed me out. I couldn't get the spider out. I didn't obviously want to kill the spider in my hair and get it stuck in my hair. So we had to cut it out, which meant I had to have not only did that freak me the hell out, but I also had to have one of the worst hairstyle choices of my life because of that spider. I had the worst fucking bowl cut ever. And I'm like, no. You not only gave me the fashion disaster of a lifetime, but you traumatized me. So now I'm just terrified. Like, I'm kind of okay if they're like on a wall and I can see them, but if I can't see them and I know they're in a room, or if they're above me, biggest no ever.
Oh yeah.
Especially if like I had one like climb my hair like recently. I'm like, oh no, get out.
Nope. It's like just go.
Actual PTSD from spiders.
Oh man, like I think my spider story was when I was like, I think it was 5 years old or something, and I was just like playing in the backyard, like just sort of under the carport area, and suddenly I grab a full-on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have like a carport area. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was a bit like, what?
Yeah. So I ended up grabbing this redback spider. And yeah, this thing was probably, I don't know, probably like a similar size to what you would have described.
No, trust. I would hold on. Like, how big are like? I'd say it was probably like the size of like, I don't know, like a coaster. like a
Oh wait, like
like a coaster for.
oh
Yeah, it
wow.
was like it
Okay,
was a
probably not.
sizable
Okay,
spider
probably not that big then,
because
actually.
it was a garden. It was like a garden house spider.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, probably. Okay,
I
probably
think
not that big then.
I think redbacks like you're on about like black widows, right? The redback.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the
So like,
redback. Yeah, I think they're the same. We have what would be deemed like their counterpart. We have the whitebacks here, so
right. Yeah. So
just similar.
yeah. So I picked up this redback spider. I was just playing with it, and then suddenly, like, my parents come out. And I'm just like, because I'm just a 5-year-old. I'm just like, it's my new friend, and they're just like, that is not, just put that down. And I'm just like, they're just playing with this thing, and then like, what it ended up doing was, it ended up almost, it bit me, but it bit my thumbnail, so it couldn't inject any poison into me. So I was so freaking lucky. Yeah, it bit my yeah, it bit my thumbnail. So they took me down to the hospital, and they looked at it, and they're like, oh no, it bit your thumbnail. It's fine. And
having a kid in Australia must be stressful.
I mean, I don't know. Like, spiders, I don't think they're as common as, like, I think a lot of people perceive them to be, I guess, when thinking about Australia. But
I guess.
But yeah, like, that's, I don't see redbacks very often. Like, I think I've only seen one like very rarely in like the last so many years.
I've heard from the few Australian streamers that I've seen is that they only tend to be in like the absolute outside like countryside thing like you have, and you guys don't like really have that because it's like way inland. So I
Yeah.
assume they're not that common because like the only time I've seen whitebacks, which just for a reference, they don't kill you here, but they make you very, very sick if they bite you. So you just
Right.
puke a lot. So nowhere near as bad if you get bitten by one. The only time I saw them was when I lived in an old house by a country park when I was at uni.
Right.
So there was like loads of them because I assume you probably don't get anywhere near as much. Well, some places do. We get a lot of rain, so spiders come in from the rain. So it's the only reason why we have so many spiders in our houses is because like it rains, they come in.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's the only reason why is because that part of the country rained a lot, and it was by a country park. So that's the only reason why I think I've seen them.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've seen them is when I lived there. I haven't seen them since.
Yeah, it's like for me, because I guess for reference for me, like, because I live in like basically a valley sort of area, so it's like rainfall is like half as common as Sydney. So, so we hardly get as much rain as Sydney. So it's just hot.
Does Sydney rain a lot? Sydney rainfall.
I think it's like maybe over 1,000 milliliters of rain a year.
Y'all acting like you get 1.2. It says 1.2 meters of rain a year, and I'm just like, that's it.
Yeah, and then
that's all you guys get.
Yeah, and then for reference, my area gets basically half.
England rainfall per year. I want to give this on a reference. Wait, I don't. It's not giving me an exact thing, but I can see that in 133 days it rains 37 inches. Is that a lot? Is that I don't know what that is in meters. So what you're telling me is you're basically in drought season all the time.
I mean, it's probably not drought season, but it's kind of just like, it's just...
Nah, that's a drought in England.
It's like I think the most time we get rain is probably actually in some of our warmer months, but in our cold months we don't usually get a lot.
Oh, do you get like rainy season like they do in Japan?
I don't know if I would. I don't know, actually. Like, I don't know enough about Japan, I guess, in terms of what
Because they
their
get
rain season is.
rainy season in like May or like June, a bit like we do.
Yeah, I guess here
I
it's
don't know if that's like a
probably
tropical thing.
yeah. I guess probably here it's probably more like maybe usually March or April tends to be quite
Oh
rainy.
yeah, sometimes it's in March. If we have it in March, we don't get it in May. But if we don't get it in March, we get it in May, which is
Yeah,
really weird.
yeah. I guess it's like the worst part is like my area is basically not too far away from a river that tends to probably flood sometimes. So it's
Get
like
the boat out.
yeah, so it's basically like because my area is not too far away from I guess starting to get into more country area, but
Yeah.
it's like if it's like rain season, it's just like yeah, you're gonna get dumped a lot of rain, and sometimes there's a likeliness of flooding, and then the surrounding area is not too far away from me. It's basically like oh yeah, there's a bit of flooding. Okay, are we gonna do anything about it? No.
I think of it like it's quite funny, right? Because it's like, in England, from what I know of, when it like floods, 99% of the time, people will just go about their day like it's normal. Like I remember one time it
Wow.
flooded, and like I was in my boots, and like it was like coming up to like above like my ankles, and it was just
Oh
like,
wow.
are we gonna like act like this is normal? And people are like, yeah, and we just walk through it like okay, I guess it's
Jeez.
raining again.
Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
not like some countries where it gets really bad, but it's definitely worse. And I think people are just like, oh, it rains a lot in England. It's like, yeah, but I know in some countries of how it rains, if it rained like that, they would probably be like, we should probably like clear the roads, like
Oh
they'll
yeah.
get things out to make
It's
sure
like
the water's gone. Whereas in England, like it'll flood roads and we'll just drive through it. Like
you just yeah, you see on news reports here. It's like anytime like there's like a big flooding event or something, it's like they're always just like the police are always out there saying, "Please do not drive in floodwaters," and they're just like, "Yeah, we're just gonna drive through floodwaters."
there was a time when it flooded, right? And I was on the school bus.
Yeah.
And it was like really flooded, and it got to the point where the flood water was coming in through the
Oh my
bus's like
God.
doors, and we're all just sat there like, are we just gonna drive through this? Like,
It's like,
my
yeah.
shoes are getting wet.
Bus driver's just like nah, I got this, fam. We're gonna
Literally, the guy she turned like, nah, I got this, it's fine. And we're just like, oh my god.
Oh no.
I ain't got my swimsuit if you break down though, boy.
Oh god. But yeah, it's like either my area, like because the last few years have been much more extreme weather events, I guess here. It's like we've had bushfires, like then we suddenly had flooding. It's like you just can't win. You can't win. It's just like oh yeah. Extreme
Poor
heat.
Australia, they're like really they're trying to bully you guys into stopping.
Yeah, I think
like,
that's what's happening. Like
they're just like, no, you guys can't keep doing that.
I think it's like Earth Chan is probably just looking and going,
Earth Chan's dying. Sorry.
Yeah, and then it's just looking at Australia and going, yeah, I want to get rid of them first. They seem more problematic. Like it's like this. It's like they've got bushfires. It's like they've got bushfires, they've got flooding. Like, I'm just gonna keep hitting them with more of that just to try and stop them.
Go on, move out. We made this
like,
country so you guys wouldn't inhabit it.
Yeah.
You lost to the emus twice.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah, it's like we lost to freaking emus, and then and I don't know what else. Probably other things as well.
You have all your poisonous creatures lost to emus and kangaroos out there trying to punch y'all in the face, and you still live there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
I guess we're just built different. I guess we're just built different.
yeah, that's one way to put it. You guys out like what? You guys out there in the winter being like, man, it's a chilly 10 degrees Celsius today.
That's me at like
It's like
freaking. That's me at like 17, 18 degrees. I'm just like, man, this is freaking cold. I need a jacket. that's
hold on.
me.
Yeah, and I am out here in like 7 degrees. Like, man, it's warm out.
And then suddenly the tides turn when it's like me going, oh, nice, 28-degree day, awesome.
Man, I could get a suntan in this. I'll stay inside.
It's like there's a lot of jokes with like with British people where it's like when they come to Australia suddenly in the summer and they just get burnt red.
See, okay, that wouldn't happen with me. My mum hates it because I'm like half Spanish, so I just tan.
Yeah, that's probably a good trait to have then. So just
yeah.
Yeah, it's like for me,
I don't want to tan.
I think for me, like because my genetics are, I'd say, for the most part, British. Like,
British.
And it's just
British.
It's like got the British in me. And then
you got the British in you, mate.
Yeah,
bloody hell.
It's like I've got
that's like really south. Ew.
It's like I got the British in me. I've got like Scottish and Irish in me, and then
You're pale then.
Yeah, I mean somewhat, but then I've got a bit of a tan from Australian heat, I guess.
You're pale then if you're just there like I've got Scottish and Irish, so you're a sheet of paper.
Sheet of paper.
No
And then
offense, they are very pale.
Yeah, and then I've also got, I guess, a bit of Viking blood in me and Austrian blood in me.
You're not helping that. You're not helping that paleness.
I'm not helping with that at all.
You're adding more spoonfuls of pale.
Yeah, it's just like, here's your scoop of pale, and I'm just like here going, no, I don't want any more. I don't want. No,
I don't want to be pale. I'm just gonna burn.
Yeah, surprisingly, I don't really. I guess I burn, but like I still tan a little bit. I guess maybe it's just adapting. I guess
I tend to. Yeah, like if I let myself tan, I tan. I don't tend to burn very easily, but I'm there like factor 50 because I don't like getting a suntan.
Yeah.
I think it's because I've seen how people with tans look, and like I don't want to like look like I'm 80 when I'm 30. Yeah, so I'm just there like I'd rather just be pale and still be mistaken for a 12-year-old child.
Yeah, it's like I think for me, like I guess it's like anytime it's like I guess in the high to maybe low to mid 30s, I'm just like I go outside and I'm just like no. Please no. I don't like it.
That's just that would be like so warm. And some of you guys wear jackets in that heat.
Oh, I don't know how people can wear jackets in that, honestly.
You guys are built different. You actually are.
We're built different, but at the same time, I wouldn't be insane and wear a jacket in 30 degrees. Like
no, because that's like gonna start sweating.
It's even terrible. Like once you get to like, I think for me the mid-20s is usually my comfortable temperature.
Yeah, like I'd say like I don't know. I'm probably really biased because I do really like the cold. I'd say like the teens are like the best temperature for me because you can wear a jacket like at any point in them, and it's not going to be too hot and it's not going to be too cold. Usually you get a nice little breeze. Like it's like it's nice. And just below that it's chilly, but it's not cold.
Yeah, the mid-teens are like my nighttime temperature basically. So I'm just like
hate me. I like no. No, I can't sleep in that. I like my nighttime temperature being like -9.
Jesus, no, -9. I've never experienced -9, so
When it gets to like the minuses, I'm like perfect temperature
Oh
to
my god.
sleep.
That would, I'd say I'd be freezing. I'd be like, what the frick
I
is
mean,
this?
yeah, that is sub-zero.
Yeah, like
I
I think like, well, mid-teens is like my nighttime sleep temperature, but then in the day, like the mid-20s is like my most like comfortable, but like low 20s is preferred. Low 20s is my preferred sort of one. Like,
Yeah, that's a good temperature, especially if you're going out for days. Like if you're going out to like just shopping or anything, like
yeah.
it's just a nice temperature.
Yeah, I still. It's like I'm still gonna make fun of Momo for this, I guess, because when I was in Belgium, because I actually met up with Momo when I was in Belgium, and
Ooh.
it's like they will. It's like her and a coworker were like, it was 28 degrees because the heat wave was going on at the time in Europe, and
Oh no.
I was there and I'm just like 28 degrees. Now this is good. This is freaking good. And then and they're just like, nah, this is hot. And I'm like, I mean, it's a little bit on the hot side, but not too much for me.
Yeah. I think because of the heat wave, it was quite funny because of the
Yeah,
heat wave, how it happened here. It was like we had it like 42 and then it suddenly
yeah.
dropped to like 25 and it was really funny because like most of England was like this is a bearable temperature, but I actually went to, oh my god, it's freezing, I understand the Australians now.
Yeah,
And some of you guys because it's cold.
yeah.
You
Like,
get used to like all that high heat, like no wonder you guys are like, why is it so cold here?
yeah, like, I mean, I think 28 degrees in Belgium feels different to 28 degrees in Australia, at least for me.
Like I also like also I think it's like based on like if you're in a city, it's gonna feel even worse as well
Yeah.
because like it's gonna be all like compact. But also,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if Belgium's more humid than Australia, which would then make it more of a sticky heat, like a humid heat, rather than a dry heat, which is more bearable.
Oh, like
At least in my opinion.
weirdly enough, like that day when it hit like 28, it was more like I guess because I wasn't really in the city that day when I met up with Momo, so it was more like a dry heat 28, and I was like, I don't know, it feels sometimes a bit better because
Yeah.
the sticky heat like here is terrible. Like it's awful.
Yeah, like sticky heat's just not fun to deal with anyway because
Oh
like you're
no.
getting well sticky and you usually sweat more in my opinion. Well,
Yep,
I
that is true.
think
Yeah, you do.
my friends would always sweat more. I
Yeah.
only recently started being able to sweat
Yeah, like
just
it's, I don't know, like I think because well, like the worst I've experienced was 48 degrees, and that was and also because I think it was a bit of a dry 48 degrees because of the bushfire season.
jeez.
So
Jeez.
it was so bad because I was at my workplace that day, and because of the smoke from the bushfires coming up in the mountains area coming down to us, it was like
Mm.
it was like smoggy 48 degrees, and I was like, ugh.
Oh
It was so
no, I
bad.
can't imagine. That must have been horrible.
It was so terrible. Like like spot fires were literally starting in certain areas, and suddenly our smoke alarms just went off, and we were like, oh, our smoke alarms went off, and so we walk out of the building, and it was only the underground basement area, which is where my sort of office area was. So we walked out,
Yeah.
and we were just like, oh, this is terrible, like 48 degrees and smog
Oh no. That must
and the
have been
bloody smoke alarms going off. Like,
nasty. Ew.
yeah, it was yuck. It was so yuck, and I was just and like you could barely breathe in that.
Yeah, because that's like thick like because that's not only just like thick heat, but that's thick smoggy heat.
Yeah,
Ew,
and
that must have been horrific.
all that smoke from the bushfires like basically just traveled like down into like Sydney and like the whole greater area. So Sydney was
Yeah.
just covered in it. And And like in one day I woke up and the smog was so bad. It was like I almost thought it was fog because you could barely see like I think a few meters down the road basically. Like
That must have been so unhealthy for all of your lungs. Now I
oh
think
god,
about it.
yeah.
You're just
So
breathing in smoke.
yeah.
No, that's awful.
Yeah, they literally recommended people to stay indoors as much as possible and like keep your windows locked. So
Yeah, because you're breathing in smoke. That's so unhealthy.
and that lasted
Oh
probably
gosh.
that lasted days. So there was like so many days where we just had that smog. And to think that had started like almost a month prior and just kept going. Like the fires just kept going right up until the new year at that time.
Yeah, that was terrifying, like, to watch. Like I can't imagine how it must have been to be like there.
Yeah, I had some
Being
family
worried that they'll get so
friends.
bad and you'll have to like yeah.
Yeah, I had some family friends and like some of my friends' family members as well, like that were up in those regions and had to evacuate those regions because of the fires. And
I, I couldn't imagine that because I know from like a bystander's point of view, it was just like it was terrifying because it was
oh
just
yeah,
like it was not only so big, but it was just like how much damage it was doing, and like
yeah,
it was just scary to see, and it was just like I don't know how it's like I mean it's still now it made me really like speechless on like how it was like how it
yeah,
was, but it was just like, man, it was so scary because it was like
yeah,
the fact that that can happen to our world and then it can just take away people's livelihoods so quick. I mean, it didn't happen to obviously that extent, but England in the summer actually, and some places in Europe actually got like bushfires because of the
yeah,
heat wave. And it was our first time, like a lot of like Europe's first time like experiencing it, and it was
mm.
scary, like how quickly it can just you can go from having a nice sunny day to
Oh yeah,
being homeless, and it's
yeah.
terrifying.
Like I think like that was I think it went down to some of our worst, if not the worst, bushfires we ever had on record. And
Yeah.
I remember like so many animals and lives just lost in general. And I actually traveled up to those regions during like the COVID period when there was still
Mm.
a lot of restrictions. Like we were able to travel out a bit. So me and one of my friends, we went up to one of the areas, and literally this was like probably 6 to 8 months after the bushfires, and it was just basically some of it was regrowing, but a lot of it was still just like looked barren, completely barren, and just it would look so terrible.
It's yeah, man, it's just like the thought as well, like it once luscious and then it's just suddenly
Yeah,
gone. It's just like such a I mean, in like a this is a trying to be positive on it note,
yeah,
the land around it will be very, very nutritious and healthy because
yeah,
all the stuff that obviously got burnt down will go into the earth and make it better. But
yeah,
then it's just it's still sad to think like, man, that just happened and
yeah. Like
mm,
things can just change overnight, pretty much.
literally like there'd be people on Twitter just being like, I just like it like a day ago it was like super far away and then now it's like right on top of actually that reminds me of something I saw on Twitter and I
Hmm.
don't know I don't want to get too political so I'll try
Yeah,
and beat around this very quickly.
yeah,
But obviously we know about the thing in the Ukraine right now
yeah.
and one of the artists I really, really loved,
Hmm.
lived in Ukraine, and then obviously everything started, and she
Yeah.
went from being in like a really nice house, with family, and everything, to literally like a day after posting like everything like nice like stuff she'd got to posting a
Hmm.
picture of her hidden away in like a bunker away somewhere because like the place she lived had been like bombed and it was
Oh, yeah.
terrifying to think like how quickly like she went from being like everything's fine, everything's happy, look at like this piece of art to being like I'm safe barely, but I'm safe.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus,
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
I remember, like, I guess I'm kind of gonna be beating onto this topic too a little bit. But I remember when the events around that sort of started. Not only did I see on Twitter like an artist as well. I'm not sure if it might have been the same one, but possibly another one who was posting a lot of footage of like the areas where they were bombed and everything like that.
Mm.
And I was just like going, wow, like to think something like that is actually still able to happen today.
Like, I'm such a peace mind person. It makes me
Yeah.
so angry that the world can't just all be happy and
Same
get on
same.
and hold hands. Like, why can't you all just like, oh, like you can't agree on this thing and then just be like, okay, then we just won't talk for a bit instead of being like, no, I'm gonna fight you because we didn't agree. So it just makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why do you have to go out your way to hurt people if someone doesn't agree with you? What does that, what sick pleasure does it bring you?
Yeah.
Like, I know I
And
joke about like I will stab a man if they piss me off, but like
yeah.
in reality, I'd probably just cry at them.
Yeah, like it's like I remember like also like when all that stuff kicked off, like me and my friends, like when we just saw this, because I think it was like not too late at night when we heard like things had started off. We were just like, whoa, okay, we did not expect this. And we literally were just like in our own sort of panic mode thinking about that, just going, man. And it probably sounds weird to like, I guess it probably sounds more terrifying, obviously, to people who live in that sort of region, obviously. But to
Yes,
us, to us, like we were just like thinking of it in the context of what will other countries try and do next, like in response
like
to that.
I know we're trying to, from what I can gather, I try and stay away from it because it's quite scary. Because
Yeah,
it's like it's slowly branching out more and more, and it's like, oh god, please, please, please. um,
yeah,
but from what I gathered, we're trying to stay away from it until we're absolutely needed.
yeah,
But I think it might be. I don't know if we've. I know I've mentioned it briefly, but it's affecting a lot of Europe's energy stuff. So like,
yeah,
cost of living in Europe has gone up drastically because
yeah,
places that are involved were how we got things like gas, like electric and oils and stuff. So like, we can't get a hold of that now. Like
yeah,
at the beginning of like it all, we couldn't get vegetable oils because it was all grown in Russia. So
yeah,
we were like, we had a huge wipeout of vegetable oils at one point where you just couldn't get cooking oils here, and we were all
mm.
just like, great.
Yeah. I
And not
mean,
only that, it's, oh,
yeah,
it's just so expensive.
yeah. I mean, like
Costs
we've been affected by it too. Like, probably I don't know if we could say to the same extent, but we're definitely feeling it here too. Like we've like obviously like you've got petrol prices going up, so trying to be able to afford petrol is
yeah.
ridiculous here. The cost of living's gone up too, and then
That one's
also
the one that scares me.
and also the tax rates as well basically have to go up as well because of all that too.
Mm.
So yeah,
Like,
we're feeling that as well.
we discussed it at work the other day actually.
Hmm.
So like on average, like it would cost like £1 or 2 maybe a
Hmm.
day to like fund like your heating in your
Oh.
house. And now people, you say that, and now we're just there like it costs £3 for an hour
Oh
to
god.
purely. Some people's housing bills for a month is like in their thousands because it's gone up
Holy
so
crap.
much, and it used to be like a couple hundred, and we're just like,
Oh
that's some
god.
people's rent and more.
Yeah, and it probably doesn't help with and obviously not trying to get too far into the politics obviously,
Mm.
but it doesn't help when I guess there's a bunch of revolving door leadership, I guess. Like,
I I don't I have my
yeah.
opinions of leaderships in
Yeah,
general. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
think
It's just want some stability, please. Just give some stability, just so we can kind of know what's going on.
Give it to the dog in the trench coat. He'll do a better job.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that some random off the street probably would be better at this point.
We've had like 3 prime ministers in 2 months, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went through that same sort of thing for a while, I guess, but now it's a bit more, I don't know, like, there's some stability, but I don't know. It's just the weirdness of governments around the world.
I mean, some of our government's in a hissy fit because one of our government is in your country.
Yeah, and then it's just like it's just government is pee pee poo poo basically.
Yep, and somehow the country still licks their ass.
Oh god, yeah.
And then it's like, what are you doing?
It's like what is everyone doing? I'm just trying to live my life. Just trying to live my life. Yeah.
Some of the people, right? Yep. I saw this thing, and someone was just like, this one dude, like, is responsible for why so many people died here in England, and we were all like, motherfucking asshole. And this one other dude just came in, right? This guy on the internet was just like, no, he helped with it all. And so many people just in the comments under this guy's tweet was just like, who the fuck did he help except for himself?
Yeah.
And this guy's like, oh, you got us the vaccine? Yeah, 6 months later than other countries.
Oh, there was a big debate around that here too, because it took us probably about a year before we decided to get the vaccine, and we're just like, where's our vaccines?
You guys were like lagging.
Yeah, we were waiting for it, and we're just like, where is it? Like, I think by the time you were like getting ready to get like your third, we were like ready to get our first, basically. So, and also it didn't help with each state in the country basically just fighting with each other, kind of going, I'm shutting the border to my state. No, you're not. Yes, you are. Like, it's like, why can't we come in? Oh, you got COVID cases, so we're not letting you in. We're just like, bruh, I've got family over there I want to see. Like,
like, man,
each
I
state...
wish we were so strict, because I feel like we would have gotten rid of it quicker, but here it was straight up like, we had shut down, like, lockdown for like a month. And because there was Twitch safe terms, there was a couple of aliventing cases of people wanting to not be alive. They opened them up because it was a mental health risk, and I was just like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
So apparently there's a mental health risk having lockdown here, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? That's your concern? That like 2, maybe 3 people decided to kick the bucket?
Yeah, I think like in Australia, like some states basically didn't have to really lock down much, but they basically shut the border hard shut to the other states. So it basically led to them being just completely isolated from the rest of the country, which was good in the short term, but in the long term, it really ended up not helping a lot of people. But it was weird because, well, my state basically locked down only twice, I think, during like the whole sort of shutdown period. But we were shut down for 3 months at one point, and we were just like, we can't go anywhere. We can't see friends, can't see family. Could only go to the shops. That's basically it. Go to the shops and maybe to work if it's important enough.
That must have been horrible.
Oh, it sucked.
Like, I did get quite lucky that I lived with friends, but like I know I still didn't get. And I at the time there was this small period where we opened up for like students to travel back and forth from unis.
Yeah.
Which was good because it meant I could go home and earn some money. And I had a essential workers job at the time, so I could go to work.
Yeah.
So I got quite lucky compared to some people, but it was still painful. Like, I still felt like it was just go to work, go shopping, go home. It was horrible. I couldn't imagine being one of those people that couldn't even go out.
Like
For 3 months.
yeah, like basically the story of how this one happened was so we had the first lockdown in March 2020 when it all started basically. And that was about 3-4 weeks, and they were kind of our state was accepting of having like a few cases a day at that point because there was like hardly any cases when we locked down. So we basically clamped down early and everyone was doing pretty good. But our state was the only state getting COVID cases out of compared to all the other states. So every other state was like, yeah, we're not opening up to you because you have COVID cases. We don't want to even get one case in. And
But wouldn't that make it worse? Because like then you're just sort of isolating all the bad COVID cases and not letting like it develop into a weaker strain.
Yeah, so our mentality at the time, well, most states' mentality at the time was zero COVID, just zero, none. And our state was like, well, that's not really realistic for us. We have a bigger population than all the other states. So
Yeah.
So even when we had 10 cases a day, because we couldn't quote unquote link them all back to each other, the other states would be like, well, we don't know what to do with you. We don't know.
That's mean.
So we stayed basically isolated to the other states, and we just had to deal with how we were going. And I'd say about 4 weeks into the lockdown, they started easing it very slowly, just kind of saying, okay, we'll allow this now, we'll allow that now. You can have 10 people at your house. Cool. At least we can do some things. And it worked out for a long time.
Yeah.
But then suddenly the new Delta strain kicked into the country. And that changed everything. Everything changed. Everything was so stable. We actually had a point where we had 0 cases, like across the whole country.
Yeah, I remember that. And then everyone was like, "Oh, Australia's going to open up," and then it was just like,
no,
like, they have COVID again.
It's like psych. Nope.
You guys didn't you open up and then you got COVID, so you locked down again?
I think what had happened was we got to that point where we had like a month or two with 0 COVID across the whole country, except for like hotel quarantine cases. And that was an achievement. So we opened to New Zealand first at the time, which had 0 COVID. And that was good. And then suddenly in my state, and this is the pain of it all, in my state, the one thing that ruined it was a taxi driver somehow had COVID, probably got it from hotel quarantine, transporting and stuff, didn't wear a mask, didn't have any protections. So he got COVID, and then Delta kicked off into other suburbs. And because at first they were saying, no, we're not going to lock down, we're not going back to that, everything's fine, everything's all good, we trace back the cases, we know where it is. Then suddenly Sydney had quote unquote too many cases popping around.
Oh.
And because they couldn't trace it back to these other ones, they were like, well, we don't know what to do. We don't know how far this has reached out. So they started locking down some of the suburbs. And we were like, oh, they'll just do that, right? They'll just lock down the suburbs, let the cases dwindle a little bit, and then they'll just open back up and everything's honky-dory, right? No. So then suddenly, about a week later, the case numbers had reached into like the 20s or 30s across the state. So basically the state government was like, okay, we're going to do a lockdown. It's not going to last long. It's only going to last a couple of weeks. It will be okay. No. 3 months later.
No.
3 months later. So
Jesus.
So I ended up, this was the first time I ended up having to work from home as well, because the case numbers got so bad halfway through. They were like, okay, we should stop people from traveling to other local government areas, which is probably similar to your counties, I guess.
I don't know. I kind of, but they're very, very small here compared to yours. So yes.
Yeah, I guess
I'll say yes.
It's probably similar because like our local government areas.
one of your states is probably like 3 Englands.
Yeah, but we also have like a council, obviously local council sort of area.
Yeah.
So basically they started going, okay, and the state government has what they call local government areas, so not just the councils, but the greater regions, I guess. It's bunch of too many layers of government to say. So
a lot.
So they basically were like, okay, these local government areas, you have these restrictions. These ones, you mostly are free to do whatever because you're country regions, so you don't really have any cases. You don't need lockdown. So my area was part of the lockdown sort of area, and my workplace was also in one of the lockdown areas, but if I only went like 20, 30 minutes further, I would have been in like a country region where basically there was no restrictions. But no, so I was in lockdown for 3 months, and the case numbers, I think at the highest during that point, had got into like the thousands during the day.
Jeez.
And I was just like, man, what's going on? What the hell is happening? And my workplace was like, do you feel like, was saying to everyone, do you feel comfortable coming in on site at all? And we're just like, yeah, we're all right. I mean, it's not bad. Like, no one's got COVID yet, right? so
Yet.
Yeah. So basically they made some of us work like 1 day on site, but the rest at home. So I still had that little bit of travel, I guess, to kind of just get out of the house.
Yeah.
But
I think I remember a couple of people I've spoken to saying how like it was very common in Australia at some point, like at one point, to be like a couple days in the office but then work from home the rest of the time.
A lot of workplaces started adopting that during the second sort of lockdown phase, or the Delta COVID phase as we call it here. So then suddenly we started getting closer to them saying, well, we need to kind of just live with it because there's no way we're going to go back to 0 cases, because that was the first aim, go back to 0 cases. And that was not going to happen at all at that point. So... because
I think most places kind of got rid of that. I know we have, because at least here, COVID's just kind of like glorified flu at this point. You just kind of get a head cold with it now.
Yeah, it's basically the same here too now. But it took a long time for us to kind of adapt to that. So we were just like, okay, I mean, we got 1,000, 2,000 cases a day at one point, but the cases had been on the decline. And halfway through, I think, the lockdown, they finally had the vaccine arrive. So they were like, okay. And this is how they tried to, I guess, get people to go, we need to get used to it. They were like, okay, you're going to have to get to 70% vaccination in the state for us to consider opening up.
That seems like quite a lot, though. But I guess, like, I don't know, that's still quite a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And other states started adapting to this whole idea of 80% and 90%. And we were just... And so we were one of the more relaxed states when it came to that.
Especially, like, if you've got a large population, like...
Yeah.
If we said that here, it would be like, Jesus, no, like, just get all the old people... That's something I didn't understand. Is like vaccinate the old people first, and so many people were like, why?
It's like get the old people and like the disabled and like people who need that vaccine.
The disabled, I get, but the old people, it's like most of them don't go out much. Why not give it to the people that are working?
True.
Like the people going out to work. That's one of our things. That's one of the things that we brought up was like, why don't we give it to like the essential workers first?
Yeah.
And then give it to the old people, because the essential workers are going to be like in front of it all the time. They should be protected.
Yeah, I think our mentality here was... Our mentality was kind of like... I think at first it was like essential workers like hospital staff and aged care like sort of workers and stuff. And then they were like, oh, okay, elderly as well. disabled, and then they suddenly said general population last, pretty much. And yeah, it worked. Like, eventually we got to like that 70% vaccination target, and they were like, okay, let's ease a few things. So they were like, oh, you can now have a picnic with your friends. You can have 5 friends have a picnic in the park. And we're just
only
like
5, sorry.
Yeah, only 5, because
sorry if there's 6 friends.
yeah, so but also during that lockdown we were limited to being able to exercise and travel within, I think, a 5-kilometer radius.
Yeah, we were allowed to, well, not travel, but we were allowed to exercise as long as it was like outside.
Yeah, so our travel was basically, oh, we can go to a supermarket, or we can do exercise at a park within the 5-kilometer radius. Most of my friends lived outside of the 5-kilometer radius, so I was like,
oh no, that sucks.
So I was able to meet up with one friend for a picnic because it was just in my 5-kilometer radius.
Oh, that sucks.
So we were just chilling, and like we just were at a park, and we decided we'll just play handball or some shit because we didn't know what to do, because couldn't go back to his place or anything, because not allowed to go to friends' houses or anything because you might get COVID.
I mean, understandable. I just feel like COVID restrictions are so strict. Like, some points it made
sense at some points. Some points
and
it
at other
didn't.
points, it's like there was the one that we had here, and it was just like at one point it was like you can go around people's houses, but there can only be 5 of you in a house, which was so funny to me because I lived in a household with 4 guys, so there's 5 of us, and we were like, so what you're telling us is that no one can come visit?
Yeah, because you've already got the limit of people.
Yeah, and it was so funny because my partner at the time, Kugel, I don't know why I said it like that. Kugel, his family was 5 people, so he was just like, can our family not visit then? It's like, you can only have 5 people in a household. And I was just like, oh damn.
Yeah, like,
which it's just like, how are we meant to do that? Because if it's 5 people to a household and there's already 5, what happens if you're a household of 6 people? Do we kick someone out the house?
Yeah, I think when it came to, I guess, the way the state governments here worked it out, basically like, oh, if you've got a household with more people, that's fine, like that's okay, but like just you can't have any visitors essentially. So yeah, and then I think one way they also worded it at some point was, oh, your family members or any members of the household don't count, so visitors could still come over.
They never said that to us.
Yeah, they're just like, no, 5 people only.
Alright, yes, 5 of you, there's 6 of you in a household, one of you's gonna have to leave.
It's like Rookie Games says hello and says, watermelon, air melon, earth melon, fire melon, the elemelons. Okay. I don't know if...
Yoshi.
It's like, we got the hungry Yoshi in the chat. But yeah.
I actually need to go toilet. Am I allowed to nip to the toilet? I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Like,
sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, I've done that on some podcasts. I'm just like, crap, I need
Okay. I'll be back in like a minute. I really need to pee.
It's like Bunienade runs to the toilet.
I'll speed pee. You can time me.
It's like speed pee, puts the timer on, like, and goes 1 minute. Nah.
You start playing like really intense like battle music. Also go to pee, and it's like speed pee time. Let's go. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm so sorry.
Oh, good. I'll read chat and talk with chat. Yes, Bunnienade's gonna hop to the button. Funny enough, Bunienade is not a bunny, just has a bunny outfit, actually. So, there's a fun fact. Yeah. It's like Dream Minecraft speedrun music. Yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of Dream, really. Like, I've heard about Dream, and like all that sort of stuff, but I'm more of an OG Minecraft person from like the OG Minecraft days, so I don't know a lot of stuff about modern Minecraft, even though I do play it. I just don't keep up to date with the trends in Minecraft. But yeah, so we've talked about many different things so far. Like, we went from talking about, I guess, differences with macas between the different countries, and we also have talked a bit about COVID and a bit of the history and some topics on VTubers. But we still have many more things we can talk about, like crap tons. Didn't watch my stream either. Preferred Dan TDM. Yeah, I used to watch Dan TDM a lot more back in the day. Plus, with some of the other OG Minecrafters, like I watched a little bit of Sky Does Minecraft, but not too much back in the day. There was also Stampy back in the day. iBallistic Squid, a lot of them, because they were more like the, I guess, I don't know. I was much more into the all ages kind of friendlier streamers. Dr. Trey. I feel like I remember that. But so long ago now that I probably wouldn't know. But what else we got? I'm just skimming through the topics as well that I still need to talk about, because I've got many things that I could still bring up. So yeah, what else we got? Like, if you guys in chat have anything that you want us to talk about, you guys are very much welcome to suggest things. I might not see everything, but we'll see. Ah, yeah, I remember that. Dr. Traoris, yeah. So, welcome back.
Hi. Oh, I feel so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the COVID rules, like, at some points, I feel like, and this is, I think, there was a report that was done, at least in Australia's handling of the pandemic, that basically said at the time, some of the restrictions were necessary, but some just weren't and would not have made a difference at all.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think we had that, but I feel like it was kind of acknowledged at one point. It was like these things didn't really help.
Yeah, and
I know there was a bunch they tried to do, and most people like it didn't. It didn't really help. Let's say.
yeah, it probably added a lot more complications than what would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one rule that came in my state during the heavy sort of lockdown period was because they wanted to restrict people like traveling between local government areas. For people that had jobs in different local government areas where the restrictions were tighter, it was just like, oh, you need this form and paperwork to basically prove that you're going to this area.
Yeah. I had to get that when I was traveling to and from uni, which is the pain in the assest thing in the world, because I had to get this thing from my uni, from my landlord, and just be like, yeah, I'm moving back to uni. I also had to get a thing from my workplace, and it was so I had a thing from my workplace saying I had to start commuting back to my workplace, and for a reference, like if I was trying to commute from my workplace from where I lived at uni, it would have taken me 7 hours. So it was kind of like I can't do that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like I obviously would have to move for it. So it was a bit easier because I had a job to move home than it was for some people who didn't have jobs to move home.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I needed like so much paperwork to go home and to come to uni. Like it was just a pain in my ass to move.
Yeah, I was lucky that with the area that I was traveling to, because it was much more going up the mountain region, basically I just had to travel 40 minutes to get to where I needed to each day. But all I needed was just paperwork from the place I was working at to say, hey, he works here. We kind of need him on site like each day. So so if a police officer pulled me over, I would just be like, show them that. And they were like, oh, that's all right. But they never had any police checking that region. So I just drove straight there and back, no issues. But for my dad, who worked in one of the more stricter local government areas, he pretty much had to get this paperwork, submit it to the government to kind of say that he's able to go there.
My
And
God.
it it was yuck. It was yuck.
I know one of our managers lived in a different area to us, and he commuted to our area for work. And I know his area got put in like a really big lockdown at one point. And
Right.
even though he had the paperwork to leave to go to work, because obviously he's needed, he is a manager, I
Yeah.
remember that the police were like, no, you can't leave. This place is severely locked down. And he's like, but I have the paperwork to leave. And they were just like, no, you stay.
Oh wow.
And I remember it took a lot for him to be able to start coming to work because he had to. And
Yeah.
it was just like, I cannot imagine being in, like, I was lucky it was just like, I needed a letter to like, or I needed some paperwork. It wasn't really a letter.
Yeah.
Basically be like, this person works in this location, which is too far to commute. They need to move closer. Which
Yeah.
was very...
Yeah. I think Hungry Yoshi was asking, I think in response to my question, was the paperwork used every day? So in terms of like when my dad was traveling, like because that area was in heavy lockdown, like they even had nighttime curfews for their lockdown.
Oh no, that was a bad time.
Yeah, like they put in nighttime curfews, which was the only sort of region they did it in, and a lot of the public response to that was that they felt it was kind of racially targeted because those areas had a lot more minorities. So they basically kind of were targeting them.
That's the thing, right? Is like there was, so one of the areas I know because my friend went to uni there had a large like population. It was a racial, obviously it's not a common race in England,
Yeah.
but it had a large quantity of that race. And I remember them being like, "Oh, why are we in like a severe lockdown? Because it's us." And it's like, well, just because you guys just so happen to have more cases. It's not anything to do with race. And there was
Yeah.
like a huge thing about it. And it's like, look, just because it's a coincidence that there's more like of your race here and there's a more of the case here. Like it's nothing to be like, oh, we're pointing fingers at you.
Yeah.
It's literally just how it is.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing, like in our case, I think in our state it was a little different. Like the areas where there was these larger minorities, in comparison to like the the Northern Beaches region in Sydney, they had the same amount of cases but didn't have the same restrictions. So they were kind of going, okay, that's a little bit offensive because it's like this area has the same amount of cases. Why are they having more restrictions when these guys can basically kind of just carry on?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense. And
No, like I understand like maybe it's just because maybe the area is more dense or something, but like it still seems a bit unfair, even if the area is more dense. It's like
yeah,
it's the same amount of cases, it should be the
yeah.
same
At
everywhere.
one point, they literally had police helicopters going over those areas and like sort of basically using.
Jesus!
They had them going over, and this was like recorded, or like by a bunch of people living in those areas. Like they had police helicopters telling people to go inside, and
What the hell?
and like to think that was like that's like only 20 minutes away from my area. I was just thinking, what? Like
That's crazy.
yeah, I was just thinking, wait, what do they think this is? Like, do they think they're just gonna suddenly mass control the population and go, yeah, you guys go inside. It's like
That's so bad.
yeah,
Like I don't think
it was so bad.
that feels like that has like even I get like trying to keep people safe, but there's also an extent of freedom if you're not even letting people go in
Yeah,
like their back gardens.
yeah, like just having helicopters going around and going like and stay inside and like it's curfew and stuff. It's like there was definitely some problems here where the pandemic powers were definitely abused.
Yeah.
But one of the funniest cases, which also is one of the most ridiculous cases, which one of the other states just laughed at so much, was this person. I think this was in just some person was like going out, and this was at the beginning of the pandemic. This person was going out for a run, which he could legally do because it's exercise, grabbing takeaway kebab as well. So a takeaway kebab, and the police literally pulled him over for going on a run and grabbing a kebab.
I mean, to be fair, he shouldn't have grabbed the kebab.
I mean,
well, he went on the run, so I don't know.
It's kind of it's like he's still exercising. Technically, walking is still exercising as well.
Yeah, but he went out to get a kebab as well. I don't know. That's like a grey area.
Yeah, I mean, and then like this elderly woman, like probably in the 70s or 80s, like she was just going out for some leisure, obviously, to kind of get outside of the house and go for a walk, which is counted as exercise. Like sat down for like 5 minutes, got pulled over by a cop, basically.
Sorry, she was catching her breath. What the fuck?
Yeah. A cop literally just was like, "No, you need to leave. Like, you need to go home."
So
like, I was just like, "What?" And then
we weren't that bad.
Yeah, the pandemic powers here were just so abusive in some areas. Like some cops literally could just kind of do whatever.
I know the MPs definitely abused it.
We have a bit of a case that happened with I'm not going to say because I don't want to get too much into politics, but a particular prime minister in recent times that kind of took up a bunch of ministerial positions because he feared that it would be utilized by others that he didn't agree with. So
okay, that didn't happen. Ours just went out and had a fucking party after saying it was illegal.
Yeah, like our prime minister was basically at the time was like, "Oh, I'm going to take all your ministerial portfolios so I can use them in case you have COVID and make decisions." Yeah,
this sounds like a control freak.
Yeah, like
it's unsafe.
Yeah.
I think the idea of giving someone so much power over a country is so unhealthy because that could go to their head so quickly, especially with countries like as big as like Australia and America where it's huge.
Oh yeah, I think this prime minister dreamed of being probably a president or something. I don't know.
Because like in England it's obviously not as big.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it should definitely be more of a community thing because it's huge. Like, I don't know. It's just like, why are they the only ones making decisions? Should they not ask everyone? Like, I know it's like, oh, I have all these ideas, but it's like, what if I like the idea from that guy better and I want to vote for that guy's decision on how he puts egg farms down, but I like your way of how you have shops open at 8 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. Like
it's like you've got one group that goes, yeah, we support and want to subscribe to Bunienade, but then there's another group that's like, no, we don't want to do that. Like it's discussion.
It's like a variety streamer. Like you can like someone doing one game but not like it when they play another game, so you'll go off and watch something else, but then you want to see like it's not going to be consistent all the time.
Yeah, and it's like you can't just have one thing all the time. Like it's like you want to have multiple pieces of the pie that you can choose from. And
so it's like I don't know. I think the idea of only having one is appalling, and I think it should definitely be more of a voting thing.
Yeah.
But like it's the world is so
it's complex. It's the world's complex.
I just want to be in my own bubble.
Yeah, I just want to
away from it all.
Yeah, like it's like I guess we'll move to a more interesting topic, I guess.
Oh man, so have you ever played Genshin Impact?
It's like, oh hell. It's like hell. I mean, yeah, like I tried playing Genshin at one point. I just couldn't get into it. like personally.
Understandable.
Like I found weirdly enough, like I tried Tower of Fantasy and like I was able to get into that a little bit more. It's
I tried the beta test for that, and I don't
oh
know if they've
boy.
changed it since, but I know in the beta test they used a lot of Genshin's assets, and I was a bit like, yikes. Nope.
Yeah. I think Tower Fantasy was able to hook me better on like just the engagement factor in the beginning. Like I haven't played it for a long time now, but it sort of caught my eye much easier than Genshin. Like maybe just because it had a bit of a easier structure in the beginning.
I feel like I feel like Genshin to get into it really, this is something I do hate about it because I played through recently on another account because I wanted to play through a free to play version,
Hmm.
and it was I was like, "Man, is it really this slow to get going?" Like, it feels
Yeah,
so slow to get going. Like, at my other one, like, I'm obviously, like, ready for, like, anything because 'cause I'm, like, at the, like, max of everything, so it's like everything's
yeah,
fine, I just sort of roll the ball. But when you're getting going, it's I can understand why people drop it because it feels so sluggish. Like,
yeah,
it's not, like, just like, to continue in the story like, past the first chapter, you have to be at a certain level, which requires, like, a good day or 2 of grind, which I can see why
yeah.
people would be like, "I don't wanna do this."
Yeah, I find like maybe back in the day, like back when I was like a kid, I used to be much more of a gamer that could just go and grind. Like, because I just was like, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, all right, yeah, I'll do some
Mm.
bit of grinding, just a bit of fun here and there. But then I guess ever since like, I guess the term again, like ever since I became an adult, I kind of just want to chill a lot more and just kind of not grind so much, I
This is
guess.
gonna sound super opposite, actually. Like, as a kid, I would play anything and everything because it was like,
Hmm.
"I wanna dip my toes into this, this, and this." Like, just try everything, hardcore, like, I would push through, like, 6 games in a week, that sort of
Wow.
thing. But now I'm like, I just wanna chill. I just want that one game I can mindlessly grind to. And then
Yeah.
I go on, I mindlessly grind some Genshin, I forget to shut the program, it racks up 16 hours of playtime because it's open as I do everything else on my PC.
Yeah. Like I find that I don't know, like I just don't feel like I want to grind in games anymore. Like
That's
I just
understandable.
want to like have a chill experience. Like I don't mind a little bit of grind here and there as long as I take my
Yeah.
time at it and don't feel like I'm forced, I guess, to do some grinding.
I I don't think I like it in, like I feel so, like I feel like I say this a lot to people,
Hmm.
but Genshin's really an exception for a lot of things for me. And one of
Right.
them is I don't like grindy games, like things like Monster Hunter is a good example.
Hmm.
I don't I like it, but I don't like it enough to keep going back to it.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't like those really grinding mind like, I don't like Elden Ring, like, that concept of, like, grinding. I don't like
Yeah.
I love Minecraft to an extent, but when it's like you gotta grind all these materials to build a big house, I'm like, "No, just put me in creative mode."
Hmm. Yeah, something that's interesting because I know you were sort of commenting on like my Sonic Frontiers footage earlier, and
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers, the way I describe it, because it doesn't feel like a grindy experience at all, really. Like it feels, if it did, it's kind of like a really fun version of grinding, I
Hmm.
guess, because like Sonic Frontiers has 5 islands you can explore and you have a lot of options on how you want to obtain different things to progress the story. And it's like you kind of go in, oh, you want to fight the I guess what we would call it, like it's not really the Titan bosses because you have the big Titan bosses, but then you have like the I guess the Shadow of the Colossus style bosses in the world. You can choose to fight them if you want, but you don't have to because you can go and like just go fish with Big if you want to grind for some
Yeah.
stuff. And it's kind of chill and relaxing. Plus, you could then defeat some enemies in the open world. you could collect items through like smashing some boxes.
This is how I feel about Genshin, because like you saying that, I'm like, I can do that all in Genshin.
Yeah, it's like, and I think with Sonic's sort of moveset, it just feels right to do it. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, like I guess it's like also like what play mechanics you like. Like
Yeah.
before Genshin, Breath of the Wild was one of my favorite games. It still is. Like, don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, I love that sort of thing of I love that play style, and because it kind of takes that play style and adds a bit more waifu and fantasy to it, I think
Hmm.
that's why I really like it, because it takes all those things you just said, but adds a
Yeah.
play style to it that makes me really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things to do in Frontiers, and I know this is probably seen by some, probably more of the core Sonic fans, even though I consider myself a core Sonic fan. Like, a lot of the core Sonic fans felt that cyberspace in Frontiers was the weakest part of the game. I still enjoyed it. Like, I still thought it was good because even though it literally rehashes old level designs into this cyberspace mechanic and slaps Green Hill skins or whatever on it, it just feels right because it's kind of like that arcade style Sonic. Like, it's just that
Yeah,
traditional Sonic that breaks away from the open world.
I love traditional Sonic. Like
Like,
I'm not like a new Sonic fan, but I definitely I have all the old like retro Sega games.
okay. So, like, you
I
would,
love that style.
yeah, so, like, you would say, like, games like Sonic 1, 2, 3, 3 and
Yes,
Knuckles.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
Sonic. I love the what was the remake one, Sonic Mania. I loved that one because
yeah.
it was just so much fun.
I would say this doesn't feel quite obviously the same as like
Mm.
those, but it does have some of that 2D to it, but there's also some 3D levels, so it kind of adds a bit of that adventure slash unleashed kind of era stuff as
Yeah.
well. And I mean, I'm more of the Sonic adventure kind of unleashed fan.
That's fair. I love how
Like,
there's, like, also, like, the genres of Sonic fan. Some only like the
yeah,
3D, some only like the 2D. I
like I
love that
have
difference.
yeah, like I have the high respect for the 2D games because it's what started the series, and I still enjoy the 2D games. Like, they're good to me. But I just love the story-driven Sonic games, like Sonic Adventure, Adventure 2.
Colors, I think that's the only one 3D, like the 3D one that I actually really, really enjoyed. Which I feel really bad because I love Sonic as like a
Yeah,
franchise. Like I love all the animations and stuff. But the
yeah.
3Ds just didn't get me, and I really liked colors though.
I think one of the biggest advantages, like probably to 2D Sonic fans, was Colors had a lot of 2D platforming. So
It did. I think that's partly why I loved it so much, because it
yeah,
mixed the 2D in very well.
yeah. I think the 2D was really solid. Uh,
Mm.
I do wish there was more 3D personally, but I mean, it still had its quality traits. Like, I mean, you had really cool level design ideas, like with the 2D platforming, the set
The music,
pieces, the music.
I love the music in that game.
Like, I think every Sonic game hits it good with the music. It's like,
Oh yeah, but I think I'm a little biased to Sonic
yeah,
Sonic Colors is some of my favorite music, but it'll never beat Chemical Plant in my head. And I know people say
uh,
Hydro City, but like
yeah, Chemical Plant. Yeah, I think a lot of Sonic fans nowadays tend to be really annoyed with hearing about the classic level design tropes because they're just being reused in 3D a lot.
hey, there is nothing wrong with reusing old school assets. Look at Pokemon and Pikachu.
Yeah,
Why is Pikachu everywhere?
I think why Sonic fans are annoyed at it is because you had Sonic Generations bring back classic levels, then you had Sonic 4, which basically reused kind of level tropes from the past. Then you had Sonic
Yeah.
Lost World take classic elements into modern Sonic, and Forces, Mania, and I guess Frontiers to an extent. So a lot of, I guess, the 3D Sonic fans are kind of just like, man, you're just reusing
Yeah.
assets.
I mean, I wouldn't complain coming from the 2D platform era,
Yeah,
but like
I
yeah, I can see why you'd maybe be a bit salty.
yeah, I think the solution, like, and this is what a lot of people have been saying for a while in the series, like the fan base has been saying, you had Mania, why haven't we had a Mania 2?
Yeah, Mania was so much. I might have been very angry at it, but why isn't there more of that? It was
Yeah,
so much fun.
like Frontiers, I think kind of the good thing about Frontiers is like, while it's not perfect, like there's still some flaws to kind of address with the game. Like Cyberspace was good, but it could be better, I think. Like there could have been definitely some more originality to Cyberspace, maybe some more levels, like a bit more solid platforming in some areas. And obviously the pop in with the textures just loading in the distance and assets like can be a bit jarring, especially for Switch players. I think moving forward, like the series should really focus on the strengths of the 2D series with Mania, like have a sequel to Mania or like another classic series of some kind. And then Frontiers can be built on for a sequel or something like it that continues on with that concept of the open world and the islands and still keep cyberspace. But I know there's some 3D Sonic fans that at this point are saying get rid of cyberspace. But I want cyberspace, but like an original level design cyberspace, like with just new level designs. Because Sega's shown many times they could make a really good Sonic like level, like with a different like concept of location. Like Colors had many cool locations to travel to.
Yeah, Colors was so good when it came to location. Like every location felt different.
Yeah,
and like it felt unique with a personality, whereas the other like couple I tried, it just felt like I was just in the same place with different music.
Yeah, I think like the Sonic series to me, and I think to a lot of Sonic fans, used to be known for having some really cool original level design ideas. Like you'd have so many different locations and it felt so different that like it's not the same old Mario tropes of like, here's a sand level, here's a grass level.
Bro, Mario is like, okay, Mario is great and all, but
Yeah,
I think it's so the same. It's like, okay, it was fun to play, but it wasn't like everything. Like, I liked Odyssey. It was
yeah,
fun. But it just felt like I was playing Galaxy with more things in it. Like, I loved Galaxy. I feel
yeah.
like Galaxy was probably
It's
one of the most polished Mario games ever.
yeah, it's probably Galaxy mixed with like Sunshine and Mario 64, I guess.
Don't get me started on Mario 64. I liked that game, but I have a very strong opinion on that game, which makes a lot of people think I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, before Frontiers, like, I think Frontiers, weirdly enough, like, even though with its flaws, like, and some Sonic fans may agree, some may disagree, like, I consider Frontiers one of my favorite Sonic games. In all honesty, it's one of my favorites because it's a new concept. It's doing something fresh for the series, while also sticking to what the series is known for. Like the series has been known for having good storylines since the adventure days, and even the classics told good stories, even though there was no cutscenes or anything. It still told a story, and like it does story really well. It's not the best Sonic story. Like, I still think that Sonic Adventure 2 and probably some of the other earlier 2000s Sonic games have some amazing storytelling. What sort of happened, I think, around the Colors era, and this is not just me, like, sort of, I guess, sniping on Colors, because I do like a lot of the things about Colors. But
you sniping on Colors. Do that to me.
I think from the Colors era, like, and this isn't to blame for the game devs or anything like that, it's more the direction from like the story directors at the time. They were kind of like, let's make Sonic into a Saturday morning cartoon style story instead of a shonen. And then the cringy dialogue sort of started there, where like you had the whole sort of Baldy McNosehair jokes and
Hey, they were good.
They can be, but then they kept
They
reusing
were okay.
those.
Okay, they were good for like the first couple times like games they used it, and then afterwards
Yeah.
it's like okay.
Yeah. Like it was good for that sort of for that game, but then
Yeah.
they continued that sort of story style into Generations and Lost World. The Boom era sort of came out of that as well with the Boom TV show and the comedy. Like,
Okay. The Boom TV show though was actually really funny.
yeah, the Boom TV show, they had good people with that, and I think they did good on that. Especially it picked up more over time and got even better. Then Sonic Forces tried to go in a different direction with the storytelling, but they still had the same story writers, which kind of let it down, because anytime the game tried to be serious with the storytelling, like saying, oh, Sonic was tortured or something, it suddenly just got into, oh no, he's alive now, it's all good. And it's like,
man, I hate that in like games and TV series. I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones.
yeah.
Where it's like, I'm gonna take this character and we're gonna kill him, and then they're like, never mind, he's alive again.
Yeah,
It's
and
like, don't do that, leave him dead.
yeah, and like I think Sonic Frontiers was kind of made in response to Sonic Forces, because Sonic Forces, while it was trying to go for that same energy of like, oh, we've got like the same people that worked on Colors and Generations, yeah, it was not the same people. A lot of those people actually left, and they had a shell of their former team to work on Forces.
Man, that's sad.
A lot of them actually went on to develop Mario games, funny enough. And
I mean, fair.
fair, like they probably got paid better, probably, and they probably. So yeah, so then Lost World, Forces, like those games kind of, well, Forces kind of got cut really heavily with the budget, because after Sonic Boom, the games failed, even though that wasn't Sonic Team's fault. Sega was kind of just like, yeah, we're going to cut the funding to Sonic because Boom failed. So Forces came as a result of Sega.
Yeah, I feel bad because like I feel like that era of Sonic was just kind of like clown era.
It was
Like
clown
everyone
era.
just saw it as a meme, and it made me feel so bad because it was like it's a good franchise. It's just
Yeah,
it's in a rough
and
part right now, like Pokemon was.
yeah, it was in a rough part like Pokemon was, except probably much worse. And this also was at a time when they just recovered from the failure of like Sonic 06. Because 06 was a disaster, like in terms of development, it was a big disaster. So Unleashed came as a result of that, and Unleashed was a good step in the right direction. Then Colors came. And then, yeah, Generations, like everyone was like, man, the series is back at high sort of standing again. Like it's a good quality franchise. Then Lost World came, bit of a hit and miss title, but kind of made sense for the time. But just they decided to change what was working. And I think that was the biggest problem that Sonic Team at the time tried to do. Change what was working when they could have refined what was already working.
Yeah, like there's so many games companies out there that will like they'll take what's working and be like, okay, how can we improve this? And sometimes it's best leaving the things that work to work and then just
Yeah.
like improve on it instead of changing it. Because I feel like if you change it, then that's people are like, no, it was working. Let me have that.
Yeah, like just imagine you had like 3 Mario games where the formula was like pretty good, but it was kind of getting a bit stale. And that's at a point where you kind of go, okay, how do we change this? But if it's at a point where it hasn't really reached its full potential yet, and it still has more to go to be good, and they'd suddenly just go a complete 180 into something completely different, you kind of just go, what? Like,
yeah, you just kind of go, why?
Yeah, you just go, why? Like, it's working, and you almost had like a magnum opus of a title there, And that's what Sega almost had after Generations. Like, you had Colors and Generations, and then you just suddenly 180 into something else.
It's so sad, isn't it?
I'm hoping that Sega doesn't do this with Frontiers, like the gameplay style of Frontiers, and go, oh, we've got 2 games where this is good. We could go for a 3rd game with even better stuff, or just 180 into something else.
I hate that game companies think more with money rather than it's you see it more in indie games, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
it's clear the heart is in there, but in like company games,
They don't
you don't
care for the
feel that
most
as
part.
much. No, and it's so sad because there's like I feel like there's some companies like maybe it's just I'm biased, but I feel like the people that make Kirby and the people that make Zelda genuinely do put their hearts into it.
Yeah.
But then I've maybe it's just me because I haven't touched the new one, but I feel like with Pokemon from like I'd say like black and white era, maybe X and Y, it just felt like the heart wasn't in it, and it just felt like it was
Yeah.
losing it, and it was just like this feels more like a money grab at this point than because you like
Yeah.
the franchise now.
Yeah, after like Black 2 and White 2 with the Pokemon games, like I kind of just didn't follow it really afterwards. Like I was just kind of sitting there
I
on the
feel like
fence with Pokemon.
X and Y was like a good story, but I feel like some of the stuff in it was a bit lackluster, which is
Hmm.
why people don't see it as highly. But I think it's got some really good story, I think.
Yeah, and then suddenly I think Sword and Shield came around, and I was kind of intrigued a little bit. But then, because my best friend, like, he's a full-on Pokemon fan, and he also gets the FIFA games every year.
Oh god.
He's just like, he's like, oh, you got to play the new Pokemon Sword and Shield at the time, and I'm like, maybe. And then I played Sword for a while, but I wasn't as sort of driven deep
Yeah,
into it. And
I was
then,
really sad by that.
yeah, then Legends Arceus came around, and
Yes.
I looked at that and I was like, is this what I want in a Pokemon game though? Not really.
I feel like it did it really well in like a new type of Pokemon, but it
Hmm.
wasn't like Pokemon that everyone knows. And it made me
Yeah.
really, really sad because
Yeah.
I liked it, but I was like, I don't like I said this about like when they were bringing out Scarlet and Violet. I was like, I don't want it to be Legends Arceus, and I want it to be like how it was originally. But maybe I'm just old. I
Yeah.
want it to be like that. I
Yeah.
don't want them to try for something else, but so many people are like, "No, that's what we want, that's what we want." And I'm like, Maybe that's you, but I like
Yeah.
the generic RPG where you follow the routes."
Yes, same.
Like, I
I
like
like
good
the
RPGs.
traditional I like
Give
the
me a good
traditional approach to it.
RPG.
Yeah, I like the traditional top-down Pokemon personally, but if they could just do that in
Yes,
3D,
when
if they could
they
just
did
do that
that
in
with
3D.
Diamond and Pearl, and it looked so good when they remade
Yeah,
it.
I
Like,
bought I
I
bought
loved
those.
I loved the remakes. Like, I was like, if they just did this, I would be so much happier.
Yeah,
But
if they could do that,
like,
but put it like in, say, a world kind of like Scarlet and Violet, but just put it like a traditional Pokemon game where you follow the routes, but in like that full 3D effect to it,
mm,
and you just like, and have a bit more storytelling, like to kind of bring you along with the game.
like
That's all I would want.
even yeah, even if they like separate it and made it like so the Legends Arceus was one series, and you had your top-down regular Pokemon series. I think
Yeah,
that would be great too, because then you'd get different fans, or like all the fans would like it, and
yeah.
because I don't think I would play 'cause I liked Arceus, but I didn't finish it. It wasn't 100% my cup of tea. It wasn't,
Hmm.
like, everything I was hoping for in life. Um, but it was good,
Hmm.
but I think I would stick to just the top downs because I really like them.
Yeah, I love the top-down Pokemon games. Like, it just feels
Mm.
it like I don't like this whole idea of like adding all these bunch of different mechanics like Z moves and whatever.
I think
Um,
Mega Evolutions was my extent because I thought
yeah,
it was a cool
same.
thing, it kinda added to it, but then, like, afterwards, it was like, "Please stop." And then they added the fancy hats this time. Everyone's like, it's so dope. And I'm like, no, they just look like clowns. I hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of these new concepts where they're just like, oh, you can have crystallized forms. I'm like, do I want that? No.
No, no, I don't.
Give me my mega evolutions.
Like, I know they tried to steer away from it because the lore of it is it really hurts the Pokemon, but at the same time, it's like, don't give me something so cool and then tell me that you're not going to bring it back.
Yeah, and like, funny enough, my best friend like actually had a good idea when it came to so he had this idea of why not just make it a Pokemon game where you could travel like multiple regions. Like,
Yes, like you can in Heart Gold and Soul Silver where you can do Johto and Kanto.
yeah, why not have that, but in the 3D sort of world concept where you could go from Johto to Kanto to bloody Hoenn to Sinnoh.
Make it paid DLC.
It's like extra money. Yeah.
Yeah, see, there's your extra money. Develop each region and release them as paid DLC. People will pay for it. I would pay for it.
And maybe you can get money to optimize your games better.
See, no more bugs. And
yeah.
oh man,
and
so many
also,
people
no
trying to validate that
issues.
game for the bugs.
Oh,
and
like
the frame rates. And I was like, I encountered so many in my first 30 minutes that it put me off, and people were like, no, just get past them, just get past them. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to just get past them. Like, if I'm playing like any other game, I'm probably not going to encounter that many bugs in the first 30 minutes. Like, that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, like, I was actually, and I don't really always look at Metacritic reviews or any big sort of game reviews, because most of the time I'm just like, I'll look at them just to get an idea of where the general population is sitting with them and whether I want to pick it up or not. And when I actually read some of these reviews, like, I actually saw IGN's review on Scarlet and Violet, and I was just like laughing at 6 out of 10. I was just like, hey yo, you can't be hating on Sonic now for like getting 7 out of 10 for Frontiers.
Well, like boys, like, come on, like, if this was any other game, you would not back it up. You would not be like, oh, if you just get past the frame rate and like all the glitching, it's like totally fine. You would be like, boys, you would be asking for if this was fucking Cyberpunk or like an Elder Scrolls
no one would be accepting the
anything,
bugs.
No, you would be fucking Elden Ring. You would be fucking shitting on it so hard. You wouldn't back it up because it's Pokemon. You're like, gotta back up that frame rate and stuff and just say get past it and it's a brilliant game. Yeah. No, they shouldn't have released it with the bugs.
That's like saying Sonic 06 was a masterpiece, but it had bugs and glitches.
You know what else is a masterpiece? Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Put my fridge.
Like, it's funny, like, Aztec says here, like, who do you think you are, Sammy Classic Sonic fan? yeah, I'm totally being like Sammy Classic Sonic fan and going like, it's like Sonic, no, like, I honestly, I think like
Sorry, I had to bring that guy up.
I laughed at Sammy Classic Sonic fan back in the day. Funny enough, it was all just an act from him, actually.
Yeah, but it's still funny.
It was so funny, but like, I mean, he kind of had a point, because at the time, like, even like some pretty good games in the Sonic series did get some pretty unfair criticisms, like, from reviewers. But I mean, it comes down to preference at the end of the day, like whether people like that game or not.
Yeah, like it's based on preference, right? To whether you like it. And for me, in my opinion, like, if a game is that, especially from a AAA, if it is that buggy and laggy, it's a huge turn off, because it's like, well, I don't want that from a I can make a game that does that.
Yeah, like, I think that with like the AAA titles, there should be at least a bit higher level of expectation from these teams.
God, they should, especially something like Pokemon. They can afford it. Like, I'm sorry, they don't deserve what they got for that. The fact that that's the best-selling Switch title, I'm like a bit like, no, they don't deserve that.
I was completely gobsmacked when I heard that it was the fastest-selling Pokemon title on the Switch,
and the best-selling. I was like, I don't mean this in a funny way, But with
Yes.
all the bugs and shit in it, you don't deserve that.
Yeah, they don't
Because it's going to
deserve it.
encourage them to make it more.
Yeah, that's what I said to my best friend. Like, and he could even agree with that. He could agree. He was like, even though he likes Scarlet and Violet, he's like, yeah, there's a lot of problems with this game. Like, it deserves fair criticism, and I'm like, yeah, it does. Like, it
It's
deserves.
not getting fair criticism. I hate that about like it's most actually the Pokemon Company is terrible for it for
Yeah,
getting ass lickers and stuff, and people would just be like, "Oh yeah, it's Pokemon. What are
yeah,
you gonna do about it?" And it's like, well, they could do a lot. They have the money.
yeah. It's like I was saying to my best friend, maybe it's kind of time for the Pokemon Company to kind of either they step it up with the next game with Game Freak and actually try and put some effort in, or they go to another team and say, hey, can you make a new Pokemon game and give us a concept and say if
Yeah,
you like
because
it? Like, I'm pretty
I
sure.
think how they're going with it is just Game Freak was fine when it was 2D, but I
Yeah,
think now it's just not working for them because
yeah,
it, like the ever 3D game was appalling too with bugs and stuff, and it's like you should either have more QA testers or be aware of what you're doing.
yeah. Or hire some more developers that are more experienced in the world of 3D stuff because,
It's not even like development, right? So the bugs and stuff, they can still fix that, but if
yeah,
they're not getting the QA people like acknowledging these bugs and like double checking it, like they should have like a huge QA team on a project like Pokemon, but
yeah,
apparently they don't.
yeah. Funny enough, with Sonic Frontiers development, it's interesting because like the game is a step in the right direction. Obviously not perfect. They had to beg Sega for one extra year of development on that game because Sega was going to just say, yeah, release it last year, sort of thing. And it would have been so bad if they released it last year because the game would have been in a much worse state than what it is. And at the same time, now that they've seen the success of Sonic Frontiers and they've seen it actually get some relatively decent reception from people, they've actually already done their first patch update with the game. Plus, they're already
With
hiring new
Pokemon
developers. So,
That's the difference though. Some companies will take like that positive criticism and then work on it. And then
yeah,
there's others that will get it and be like, cool, right, leave that thing to rot.
yeah. I think like Sonic Team's kind of learned a little bit, and I think it's probably not really much Sonic Team's fault for a lot of the previous kind of failures, but it's more Sega not trusting their teams. And at the same time, Sega's now seen the success of the Sonic movies, and they've seen that the franchise still has a very strong standing, even with the games being in a more mediocre sort of state. So
Yeah.
I think they've now seen, we should be giving Sonic Team more money. Why weren't we doing this before? And
Because they didn't love it.
and
They didn't know what love was.
they didn't know how to love the franchise. Like it's like
No.
in comparison, they would always put a lot of effort into the Yakuza franchise. Like the Yakuza franchise always got a lot of love from Sega and always had a passionate team. Sonic Team have always been passionate, but they've been limited by the funding. Like they don't have that many employees in their team. So now to see that Sega's kind of gone, oh, we should actually put money into this franchise and get more devs, that's a step in the right direction. like, and I'm just happy to see that finally, because I guess for me as a Sonic fan, and it's as my favorite game series in all of gaming, it's just finally good to see Sonic actually get some kind of love from the creators.
Yeah, I feel like Pokemon, I don't know. It's just I feel like it's slowly it's not dying as such, but I do feel like it's
It's
definitely going down that
stagnating.
hole. Yeah,
And the problem
I
is that
don't
people are still buying it.
yeah, I don't hate it. It just makes me sad because I didn't want to see it go like this.
Yeah,
It's making me
I
enjoy the franchise anywhere near as much as I used to because it's like it just feels like they're treating it like quick and easy money now rather than actually
yeah.
like
I think the first sign of that to me was like Pokemon Go. Like I didn't mind Pokemon Go,
Pokemon
but
Go was fun.
I feel like that was the first point where sort of Nintendo was like, "Ooh, we can make money on mobile games. Let's put Pokemon into a mobile game." That temptation.
I mean, some of the Pokemon mobile games were fun. Maybe not Masters. I
Yeah.
like how I'm about to say this. Maybe making Pokemon into a gacha wasn't a good idea. I don't like gacha games in general.
Yeah, like it's just all about the gacha gods. It's like I'm gonna like spend money, get these characters, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, I feel this is gonna make me sound like such a hypocrite as someone that plays Genshin. I don't actually like the idea of having to pay to
Yeah,
basically get another way to play. Like, if it's, like, paying for a small bundle of characters, maybe I paid a set amount and I got the characters, like, that's still fine. But, like, I don't like this thing where it's, like, especially how some are, where it's, like, there's no pity, you're not guaranteed to get the characters, and you're just rolling and rolling and rolling. Like,
yeah.
I can't.
Uh,
I don't understand this obsession with gacha.
Funny enough, Sonic Team tried to do this with a mobile game, Sonic Runners, before they ended up stopping the game after a year. Sonic
Yeah, I
Runners.
remember that.
It was fun. It was actually a really fun mobile Sonic game, like an endless runner in 2D. It was so good.
Mm.
And then they had the roulette wheel, and I was just like, I mean, hey, it was fun for 5 minutes to kind of like play on the roulette wheel.
Yeah.
But then, oh, you want the characters? Spend some red rings.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know, like, I think Genshin's probably one of the reasons I don't mind it in Genshin is because it's like, if I save enough in-game currency, I can get it.
Yeah,
Like, I can guarantee myself the character I want, like, it's not a loss to me. But,
yeah,
like, a lot of them, it's not that, and I think that's why I don't like gacha as an experience because it's like most of the time there's none of this pity system. You're not guaranteed to get them or this new way to
yeah,
play, and it just maybe it's also just me, but I feel like a lot of gacha games also focus on the gacha and not on the game, so the
yeah. The
experience or
gacha
the
first.
story sucks,
Yeah,
and
it's like
it's so boring.
yeah, it's like we got the gacha mechanics good, and we got a bit of a story here, but it's a little bit of a shit story at the same time. But
Like, and I know I'm biased, but I do think the story of Genshin is actually quite fun.
hmm,
I like its story,
yeah,
but its entire thing isn't to focus on gacha though. Its entire thing is the story of the game is
hmm,
what's primarily there. You have your events around it, so it's like it keeps you coming back whilst you wait for the story, and then the
yeah,
characters are just there to make it more fun. And I like that because it doesn't make me feel like I have to get every character, even if I do just decide to spend my Primogems on whatever banner it is and then end up with every character by accident.
yeah. It's like funny enough. Funny enough, I have a concept for a game, a mobile game. Funny enough, it would be a Sonic Chow Garden mobile game. Like
No, I remember someone pitching this to me
yeah,
before.
yeah. People have been saying this for so long. They're going like, oh, like what if we had a Sonic Chow mobile game where you could just like raise the Chow like in Adventure and Adventure 2 with some all these cool mechanics, like have like Chow races like in Adventure 2. And then I just thought when we were talking about gacha, I was just like, oh wait, what if Sega tries to
Make
pull a
it a
gacha?
gacha.
Make it a gacha
You
game
gotta
where you could
roll for
like
your chow.
you want to roll so you can have like this really cool suit that you could put on your Chow.
It's like, did you ever play Moshi Monsters?
No, but I did hear about
Maybe.
them.
So Moshi Monsters had a I'm gonna quote unquote this gacha. It had a gacha system where basically, uh, it was you go into your garden And you can plant these seeds, and you get these little collectible things called mushlings. And if you plant the seeds, like a certain combination of seeds, you get a mushling. But the gacha here is the flower could end up being any color flower of that type. So it could be red, it could be pink, it could be blue. So the gacha here was making sure you got the exact combo for the mushling. But some of the mushlings had like a common form and then a rare form. So the rare ones needed a certain color, but then the common didn't. So then the gacha, once you got the certain color combination, was making sure that you got the rare one out of that color combination.
Oh man.
So I can imagine it being like that.
Like Hungry Yoshi says in the chat, Chow version of Mario Kart 8. Oh man, imagine.
Isn't there like a chibi version of like Mario Kart 8 for Final Fantasy?
Oh god.
It's called like, oh fuck, what's it called? Chocobo Cup or something. Chocobo Race.
Oh.
I think.
But just imagine Chow Mario Kart, like just kart racing on a mobile Chow game. That would
No.
It's like, and you've got your freaking gacha gods powered up Chow, and just that would actually
My
be
C6 Chow.
Yeah. I mean, actually, that would be such a fun game concept, even though the gacha system would be so probably bad. It would be so bad that it's good.
I will never play gacha. I hate gacha.
It's like, if it was just like I've never minded the idea of a gacha system, like if it's like just basically pushed to the side, like not relevant to the main stuff. Like, unless you want to unlock cool shit that doesn't really have any relevance to like making you better.
Kind of like again. I mean, it can make you better in some ways, but like it really isn't necessary or relevant.
Yeah, like if they had like a periodic thing where it's like, hey, we've got these new sort of outfits that you can't unlock in the game, but you want to unlock them on a roulette system. I mean, it could be cool, but as long as it's not like overpowered, or it's like you get just pay money and you just rig it. But yeah, let's see what else we can talk about. I was thinking of talking about VTuber groups. I don't know, I just had this idea in my mind. I think talking about VTuber groups, and I guess
question me.
I was like sort of, I guess, wanting to ask, like, what are your thoughts on VTuber groups in general?
I left one, if that says anything.
I felt like I remembered. Yeah, I felt like I remembered you leaving one.
Yeah,
but
I was in one, and I don't. Okay, I need to say this in a statement that needs to be like, I don't like the ones that are like friend groups in a sense of like let's say like I made a VTuber group with like Mogs and Kugel and something, and like and we called it like the the Animatubers or something or whatever.
Okay.
Just an example. And it was just us being friends in our little VTuber group. I don't really like them, but if it's like an actual company one, I don't think it's so bad.
Okay.
Because like a company does more, like you have the ability in like to do more with it. Like you can do more merchandising, more like expanding of your brand and stuff. Like I don't think it's bad to want to join one for like a branding sense, like as like an actual company. But I don't like the ones that are like just friend groups, because I don't see the point, because it's not really doing anything other than just being like, oh, look at all these other people I'm friends with.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just me being weird.
No, I can see that. Like I've looked at it, I guess, from two different sort of perspectives. Like I've had some VTuber friends who have left those sort of friend VTuber groups. Plus, some have made their own groups, like to be kind of their own thing, I guess. I don't know. Like there's definitely different ways you can look at. Like some might see it as like you can kind of help each other like in some ways and promote and all that sort of stuff, which is cool. But at the same time, I don't know, there definitely is a level of like, what's the point to it? Like there is definitely like there's
It's
definitely
something
that
like
aspect.
Shoujo,
Yeah,
like where it takes like someone and then it's like they not only promote some, but like behind the scenes, it helps with like merchandising and like taking them to cons and doing concerts and stuff.
yeah,
I think that's fine, but
mm,
like if you take, I don't really know any that isn't like the one I was in. It was literally just there, so you do a collab every week with each other, and it was just like I don't really want that. I don't see the
yeah,
point. Like, like I guess what I could say is corporate slash company VTuber groups are better than just a generic friend VTuber group,
yeah.
unless you're being corporate about it.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of it's. This is probably going to be a weird analogy of way to put it, but I guess it's kind of like having, I guess, a VTuber group kind of like make their own version of Team 10 or something, kind of, because it's just like a big group together of friends who sort of
Mm,
work together, and it's like it's cool, but like sometimes it can feel forced sometimes because it's just like you've kind of got to commit to this idea of, oh, we're friends, we got to hang out like every week. But what if you don't want to?
yeah,
Like you still want to you still like want to hang out with them and be friends, but you don't want to be forced into something like a big group collab that maybe you just don't want to do.
yeah. Like I don't mind group collabs. I don't like them because they drain my social battery
Yeah.
and it makes it feel like I can't collab with anyone else. Because I've
Hmm.
not got heaps and heaps of time and I've not got the strongest social battery in me.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to like collab with other people, but I feel like I can't because I'm drained from doing a collab with people that I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's I also think on Chibi's side of things here, Chibi
Yeah.
Doki, where she said, "I don't
Yeah.
like collabing, like streaming my side of a collab because I like to sort of just hang out with the person."
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if I'm streaming, I feel like I kind of can't just hang out with the person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I find like with the collab, it's like I always try and aim for it to be something that is fun, exciting, and like if you don't want to stream your end, then that's cool. If
Hmm.
it's like someone asking me for a collab, like if they want me to stream my end or whatever the case is, like I like it to be fair game, like so everyone is on board with what we're doing. Like if
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to feel like I'm forced to like stream my POV or whatever the case is. Like just be chill and have fun and
Mm.
not take it like to the most serious extent of like I need to do this because I have to do
Yeah.
this.
Grind, grind.
Yeah, the whole grind
Also,
thing.
notice what Aztec said, and don't be like corporate. I wouldn't say corporate VTubers themselves are greedy, but they take advantage of all the extra access they have by joining a corporate.
Yeah.
So, like, if I joined Hololive, it's not because I want the money, it's because I'm like, "Oh, that's an easy way for me to be able to make merch, music,
Yeah.
concerts, go to conventions." Like, that's my mindset on it. It wouldn't be,
Yeah.
"Oh, I wanna make more money." I just want more access to being able to do these things that I couldn't do without that support. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to go to a con and talk at a con panel or something,
Yeah, I
or
would love
make
to do
merch.
that one day. Like
Haven't the slightest clue on how to do it past shoving stuff on stream elements, so, like,
yeah.
I want that support.
Yeah, like I think yeah, like there's definitely sometimes downsides to some corporate VTuber groups. Like obviously some might take too much control of what you want to do.
Mm.
But if you find
Like,
one yeah, it's like
sorry.
yeah, but it's like I guess I find that like some of the smaller corporate VTuber groups tend to be
Mm.
either some are good and some just are very unstable, like unstably managed. Definitely not gonna go out and name any particular, but it's like
We both aren't thinking of one with a certain panda, are we?
yeah, like, and that's nothing. And like I've always said, it's nothing. There's nothing ever against the people who were obviously in that group. Like they
Mm.
probably didn't have much insight into how things were running. but maybe they did, but maybe they just didn't have any power over it.
Yeah, because
And
most of the time, like a lot of groups, well, a lot of them try and like say that they're balanced with the VTuber, but a lot of them also still is like management gets a lot of control over what the VTuber can do, which is really
yeah,
sad. Like that's why you have to look for talent first companies because it's usually means it's on a pretty like you'd be like, oh, I want to make a song, and the company will be like, sure. Whereas if you don't look for talent first companies, 99% of the time, if you say you want to make a song, they'll tell you no.
yeah, and it's like some. It's like if you should be able to like I guess in some case like have a really good agreement that works for both you and the corporate VTuber company, where it's like you still retain the rights to your VTuber model, and you retain the rights to do basically almost whatever you want to do as long as it fits within the company ethos, I guess. And
I feel like that should be every VTuber company if they give you a model.
yeah, like
But I know a lot aren't like that.
Like if they say, oh, you just like if it's one that says, hey, we don't encourage you to do like say 18 plus art, I'd be like, cool, whatever, that's fine by me. Like
that's understandable, yeah. Like some things is understandable.
Yeah,
don't play Honey Pop on stream sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's like as long as there's like a good company ethos that you personally would stand by and go, hey, I like that, I'll go join that, and they support you, then that's good. Like it's like I would love like you were saying, like I'd love to go to different conventions and even some I would love to be there in person as well, like personally.
Yeah,
and
I
like
think that would be great.
Like I'd love to go back to another TwitchCon in Europe. Like I'd love to be there again.
Yeah, I'd love to do TwitchCon. I'd like to do that sort of thing. It's something I've always like thought about doing. I was like scared of the idea of it. Like I don't know, it's just scared that someone would come up to me and be like, "Yo, are you Bunny?" And I'd just be like,
I still remember. When I was at TwitchCon and like I saw Numi, Shy Lily, and Mary there. I was just like, oh shit, I'm actually seeing these people in person? What the frick? Like because
I'm so worried.
Yeah, like I could just tell, like, and again, this might be different from Shy Lily's perspective, but like from my perspective when I was there, it seemed like Shy Lily was so nervous. Like
because no one knows what she looks like. So I can
at that time I don't think anyone knew what she looked like. And
I know I would get that because people only know what I look like with cosplay on, so they don't know what I look like without like makeup and wigs.
Yeah, and I was just there and like, because it was so funny because me and some VTubers, like we were just kind of like just chilling, just sort of looking around because like we saw the post that Numi and Shy Lily put up like the day before saying, well, we're going to be here at this time, meet us here. And we were there and then suddenly like they come over and suddenly a bunch of people at the D&D tables just stood up and we were just like, what? That's how many people actually came to see Shy Lily and Numi? Like this whole giant row just all stood up, and I thought it was just like me and maybe 10 other people just chilling, talking to me and stuff.
But you have to acknowledge how like big they are, right? Because like I feel like if it was just me, I feel like I'd maybe meet like 1 or 2 people. I don't feel like I have people that would want to see me. But like them, they've got like thousands of people that watch them all the time. So like you can imagine they probably have at least like 100 people that would want to see them, right?
I remember watching Numi like in her OG days, like when she had a 1.0 model, and I was just like chilling in the like the Twitch chat there, and it was like a big community, but not super big, just like a big community, and we're just like there, and then suddenly a year later it's like, holy shit, like how many people are there now? Like, but I just remember that big crowd getting up and I was just in shock. I was like, really? That many people came to TwitchCon just to see these two? Like,
100%. Like, I feel like some people book tickets. Like, I'll go off. Like, I'll hands up. I'll hands. Well, I say hands up, hands down, whatever you want to say for it.
Yeah.
Admit I am that person that will sometimes book like convention tickets because like a voice actor is there that I want to meet, or a person like a content creator is going, and I want to like bump into them. Like, I
Yeah.
do that. Like, it's a thing. Like,
Yeah.
some people do just book tickets for that.
Yeah, like when I saw some of the smaller streamers who I follow, like were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be at TwitchCon in Amsterdam," I was just like, "Yo, maybe I should go." And because I was already considering a trip like to TwitchCon at that point, I was just like, originally I was gonna go with a friend, but he pulled out, so it was just me planning to go across the world, basically.
Are you gonna go again? Are you gonna go to the Paris one?
I wish,
Because the
but
next one's in Paris.
I wish, but my
Aw.
budget would probably die at this point because I used up a lot of my savings to go to.
That's fair. Because Paris is obviously a lot easier for me to get to, so I was like, I think
Yeah,
I'll do Paris. So
yeah,
I want to do Paris, and a lot of people, and I was like, I might do Paris TwitchCon. We're like, please do it. And I was like, oh, okay.
yeah. Like it'd be funny if you could go to Smash. It would be really funny if you could go to Smash in Sydney. But
That would be great. I'd love to one day be able to do like conventions and like pop up there. I don't think I'll
yeah,
ever be big enough in any means as much as I'd like to try and dip my toes into voice acting as well. I don't
hmm.
think I could ever do that.
Yeah, like I remember when I was over at TwitchCon in Amsterdam, I was thinking, what other? Well, before that, I was actually thinking, what other big streamers will go to it? Like I knew that at the time Trash Taste, I think, were they did another con in London, I think, at that point.
They did MCM.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
MCM, and I was thinking, are they going to do TwitchCon? But then they decided, no, we're doing Smash.
No, they didn't because I think they were there only at MCM because Gant was getting married like the following
Yeah,
week or the week before. I can't remember if it was the week before or the week prior. No, the week after
yeah.
even.
Yeah, I had this thought. Oh yeah, maybe they'll do Smash, and then well, no, maybe like actually no. Gant had confirmed before I went to Amsterdam. Gant and Sydney had confirmed to be going to Smash in Sydney, and I was like, "What? What?" And that was at the time I was going to TwitchCon. I was just like, "What?" And then suddenly, Dog confirmed for Smash and Anime Man as well, and I was like, "Wait, Trash Taste."
Damn.
Wait, Trash Taste are going to Sydney when I'm not freaking there? So I was like,
You're right.
so I was just like, well, I guess I'm going to TwitchCon, so that's cool, I guess. But I just felt like
You're
my
right.
heart just shattered because I was like, man, I just missed my chance to freaking see Trash Taste.
Bro, that would 100. I think I get that. I think
Yeah,
I know Kugel was very upset he couldn't go to London Comic Con when Trash Taste was there because he really wanted to meet them, and I understand, but at the
yeah,
same time, I was kind of like, especially because two of them are like a British resident. I'm like, they'll probably come back.
yeah,
I would be surprised if they didn't.
yeah. And then I guess like when I was at TwitchCon, like I was still thinking, oh yeah, like I still thought I was like, I knew that I think Numi had confirmed to be going to TwitchCon. Oh wait, no, Shy Lily had confirmed to be going to TwitchCon, and I was like, oh cool, okay, I'll get to see Shy Lily. And then suddenly, Numi had confirmed that she was in Europe when I was over there, and I was like, wait, she can't be going to TwitchCon as well, can she? And then it's like suddenly, oh yeah, she is. Like I just started theorizing while I was over there. I was just going, wait, what? Just Kowalski analysis on
I
this.
wish I could have gone because I feel like I could have met so many friends, but I think that's partly why I want to go, like, coming year, like
Yeah.
to the next one. But I'll see. It depends when it falls because if it falls at a really awkward time, I might not be able to. But I would love to because it means I could like meet friends.
Yeah, like I mean, if I
don't know.
could
There
save
was a TwitchCon there.
like if I could just like suddenly save the same amount of money I lost from going overseas, like I would suddenly just be like, yeah, I'm freaking somehow making it over and just going back to TwitchCon. But
Yeah, because it's like a £20 train journey for me to get to France.
Yeah, it's like, how much money for me? It's like,
Couple grand.
yeah, I spent probably to just get to Europe, probably like 3,000 Australian dollars to get to
Oh
Europe.
my god.
And then another, because I ended up getting my Singapore Airlines flights cancelled going back, I had to go across to America.
What the fuck?
Yeah, 3 days before my trip to Europe, it was like, oh, your flight coming from Amsterdam to Singapore got cancelled, and I'm like, fuck, what do I do now?
Oh Jesus, I could not even imagine that. Oh my god, I think I'd have a
Oh,
panic attack.
oh, I was just like, shit, what do I do? And I was like trying to message them and going like, hey, what can I do? And they're like, oh, can you get to another airport by any chance that can get you to Singapore? And I was just like, so what? Am I gonna suddenly just go into Germany from from the Netherlands
Yeah.
and get a ticket and get to
Fly
Singapore?
from Germany.
Like, I was just thinking, and then they were like, oh, what? Like, I said, like, I haven't really got many options. I need to leave this particular day. I can't stay longer because I'll be burning a hole in my freaking wallet.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would be cheap.
Yeah, so I ended up rushing to get a flight to San Francisco, and I cancelled the rest of my Singapore leg back to Australia. So I ended up going to San Francisco from Amsterdam, and then San Francisco to Sydney. And oh, I was so dead by the time I got back.
Horrific. No, that sounds horrific. Wow.
Like, I adapted to time zones well getting into Europe, but adapting back from, especially flying bloody to the US and then back to Sydney, I was just...
Yeah, that can't have been good for your body clock.
Like, I think I got back and like I didn't sleep really at all on the plane because I just can't get comfortable on a plane.
Especially if you're long.
Yeah, and especially even though I ended up getting lucky in getting business class going back to Sydney, I still couldn't sleep. I was just like, I was trying and I just couldn't. So I was basically I was basically on like zero sleep probably for almost 2 days, and I basically just ended up getting back, had some Maccas going back home, and
Don't say Macca's right now, I'm so hungry.
and then I got back in like probably at about 11 a.m. because I got back at 7 a.m. in the morning. Like about 11 a.m. I just crashed and slept till like 4 p.m. And then I woke up, had dinner, and basically went and crashed again because I had my friend's kid's second birthday the next day.
Oh god.
I ended up sleeping again and waking up at 6 a.m. And I'm just like...
Talk about jet lag. I mean, to be fair, that seems pretty well adjusted if you're waking up at 6 a.m. your time.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, I managed to somehow, like, basically reverse my body clock kind of back to normal, but then I still was so
Pretty
tired.
quickly.
Yeah. But then my sleep schedule is kind of still stuffed. But...
it's fine. Who needs a sleep schedule?
Yeah.
It's just a suggestion.
True. Let's see. So, we pretty much glazed over most of the topics that I've thought about. Is there any particular travel destinations that you would be really, really interested in wanting to travel to?
My brain's just thought of everywhere that has food. I want to go. Okay, and this is like most people might be a bit shocked at this. I know I normally say I'd like to go to Japan because there's like quite a few things I'd like to do in Japan. I'd like to go to China.
Yeah, I can see that though. I can see like as much as let's to put it in, I guess, a soft term. As much as the Chinese government is questionable, with some things. Like, there's still lots of amazing places that you can check out.
I'm a person that wants to see like scenery and stuff, and I'd like to see like scenery. I'd like to do like other places too, but I think like there's a lot of places like I'd like to see Thailand as well. I'd
Yeah.
like to see Indonesia. I'd like to see like that part of Asia. I'd like to see some of like the more Middle Asia as well, but like the kind of more tropical, like I want to see some of that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanna I wanna do more of Europe as well. I feel like I've not seen enough of Europe.
Yeah, like I want to see more of Europe now that I've basically had my sort of slight taste of it with going to Belgium and the Netherlands. Like I was actually thinking on that trip of going to the UK for a bit, but then I just didn't plan to go
We
there.
haven't got anything here. Don't come here.
Like
No, seriously, don't come
I was
here.
thinking about it because I've got some family members in the UK. So I was like, oh, maybe I could. And also because my dad was like just saying, go to the UK, you've got family over there. Like you should go.
We don't have anything to do here though, unless you're like in London or like one of the big cities. It is the most boring place in the world.
It just like cloudy, wet, and
You say that like that isn't what it's doing outside my window right now. It is cloudy, it is raining.
Yeah, like it's like I was thinking about it, but then I was like, do I really want to? Like, do I need to? No, like I've already got Belgium and the Netherlands planned. Like, maybe I'll check out other areas of Belgium and the Netherlands, and maybe other places in Europe. Like, maybe, but yeah, Asia, like in general, is definitely on my sort of bucket list. Like, Japan has been for a long time, but I've been to Fiji once, so.
Oh, I can't say same.
But yeah, like Fiji was quite nice. Like we sort of went to like there was like this town, like it's a really small town, like called Sigatoka Town, which is just known for like being a rugby town in Fiji.
Okay.
So it's basically just a bunch of like pretty good rugby players, and I wouldn't say there's much else in Sigatoka Town, but
it is a rugby town at its core.
At its core, just rugby town. And like the resorts are quite nice there. So like you have like really nice resorts. And also there's some good off-roading experiences. So like you get to see some of the caves and stuff in Fiji. So it's pretty cool. But I've been waiting to go to Japan for so long. Like it's been on my bucket list.
It's much cheaper for you to go to Japan than it is for me, I can guarantee.
Yeah,
it's very expensive from here.
Yeah, I think like a flight there and back is like maybe somewhere around the range of 1,000 to 1,500 Australian dollars, probably. And it's
I think for here, I think the cheapest you're getting a one-way ticket is 1,000, and a return's like 2,000, and then you've got to get your visa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's very expensive.
It's like for me, I think it's like a 10-hour plane ride, not even like just like 9.5.
I think it's 19 hours from here.
That's not very nice. No. Like I still did not like the fact that I did 15 hours to Qatar and then 7 hours to Brussels. that killed me.
God. Yeah, I can't imagine that.
It killed me more going back home though. Like going there, I was like, yeah, this is not bad. Like I got there, I got to the hotel, like I then just slept and woke up the next day. I was completely just normal.
I guess because it was very forward, like it wasn't like a mess and cancellations and stuff. So
I still, even though I didn't sleep on the plane for that case either, I was still able to at least function and do shit. Because I got there and got to the hotel, I'm like, okay, I've got my bag set, I'm all good now. Everything is good. just get some food, even though I don't feel like eating a lot. I still got some food, and then just chatted on Discord for a bit, and then went to bed. So
easy as pie. Oh god, my brain. My brain's just so fooded.
Oh yeah, I mean, my brain just goes, oh yeah, Macca's, KFC, yeah, cool.
Please stop, I'm so hungry.
Let's see. But yeah, so we talked a little bit about travel destinations. Like, Japan's definitely on our list. China would definitely be on my list too. Like, one day, maybe at some point. Like, it's like the Great Wall of China would be really cool to check out. And
like anywhere, like I just want to see the scenery, because China has some very pretty like architecture and scenery.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like I saw there was a convention on in Singapore at the moment, and I was like, man, maybe I should go to Singapore for a convention at some point because of how much closer it is.
Yeah, Singapore's really pretty too.
Yeah, like just seeing photos of Singapore, like I just love I don't know, I love city architecture, but at the same time I do love nature as well. Like
it kind of has both. It's really nice.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, if there's a convention, maybe I'll go over there, like just for a few days and just kind of chill. But yeah, like travel is something I love wanting to do, even though money is the biggest problem.
Yeah, money is a big thing. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's
especially like right now with everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. I still remember like how when I came back from Amsterdam, they bloody left my bag behind, and then they had to basically bring it back over like to Australia, but it was just like a plane ride behind basically, and it took me 6 days to get my luggage back.
That sucks.
Yeah, like suddenly getting into San Francisco and they're just like, oh, sorry, your bag is still stuck in Amsterdam. It is on a plane ride coming over. It should come at some point soon. I'm just like, oh, cool.
Great.
Great, but like, it's like, luckily I didn't have my important shit in there.
Yeah.
Like, and I like prepared for that. I prepared for that because luckily I had watched a trash taste video like only a few weeks prior, where they were just like, oh yeah, we got lots of problems with our equipment being missing, and I'm just like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna prepare for that just in case and have like my main stuff in my carry-on so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So that was good. But
I think, yeah. I feel like I've learned to take all my important stuff on my carry-on since my mom's just she's convinced me. She's like, you must take everything important on your carry-on, otherwise you will lose it. And I've been born and bred that way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just was like, I just have this natural instinct as well, going, yeah, something's gonna go wrong here. Like I guess I'm kind of like Gaunt in that case, where it's like something's definitely gonna go wrong here. Like, like I feel like I embody like all three of the trash taste guys in one in some way. Like, I
think we all are, all of them.
Like people.
Well, except for I'm not Gaunt with pizza. How do you not eat pizza crust?
Yeah. I mean, I like pizza crust personally as well. Like, I guess the other big question is boneless or bone chicken.
Boneless, because like I don't want all that shit in my mouth. I want to just be able to put the chicken in my mouth, and now I'm not getting bone in my mouth.
Same. I like the boneless.
I like my bones in other places.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like funny stuff. yeah, like I remember I think I put a photo up on Twitter one time, and someone was just like, oh, you look like Sea Dog VA, and I'm just like, really? So then I made up
a generic Welshman. You're a generic Welshman.
I guess. So like I put up another photo and I did a poll and I was like, do I look like Sea Dog VA? And more people said yes, and I'm just like,
generic Welshman. Good.
So I started nicknaming myself the Australian Sea Dog VA. And then
I'll keep that. Are you from New South Wales?
I mean, yes, I am.
So you are a generic Welshman.
I guess. I guess so. Like if I grow my beard out enough and like I grow my hair, I guess, long enough and like style it in a certain way, I guess I kind of do look a little bit like Sea Dog, but just a younger version of him, I guess.
He's not even that old.
I know, but like I guess probably not that much age difference actually. But
Like, how old are you?
22, so
You're only 2 years younger than him.
yeah. So there we go. Like I guess I'm just like the slightly less developed.
Yeah, you got your time to develop. Can't wait for that voice acting career to pop off.
I mean, I have started to be interested in voice acting, I guess. But
It's fun.
it is so fun, like just playing voices. Like someone reckons I have a good Shadow the Hedgehog voice. So
I don't even know how Shadow the Hedgehog sounds off the top of my head.
I just know the meme, like where he's just like, "Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?" And it's just like,
This is my gamer basement. I only know that meme.
it's like, "This is my gamer basement." But yeah,
Welcome to my gamer basement.
it's like where all the definitely say so things happen.
Welcome to gamer basement, where all the say so things happen. Don't look in that corner.
Yeah.
Don't look in that corner.
It's like just ignore the Dojin corner over there. It's a corner full of Dojin.
My sex doll collection, please, please. From the please, you can't tell them about that.
You can't tell them.
It's like, what have you got over there? Just don't look at it. Don't look at it. It's there, but it's.
Look
but
at
it's,
my eyes. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes.
It's
Don't
like,
look
in
in that corner.
It's like, don't look at the corner.
Please. Don't look in the corner.
It's like, don't. It's like, I'm warning you. Don't, otherwise you'll be trapped in this basement forever.
I'm warning you, or you'll never leave the basement.
It's the whole like sort of basement sort of dweller eccentric sort of style. It's just like, you are not leaving that basement ever and never.
How did you get out the basement, Wolfy?
I shall not.
Huh?
I shall not question how I got.
Why are you out the basement, Wolfy?
It's like I'm not out of the basement. I'm just in that corner over there. You see?
Get in the basement, Wolfy.
It's like, get into the basement.
Get in there.
It's like, I still like the joke in that other stream where everyone was just like, we kind of need more facilities in the basement.
Yeah, every 1,000 followers you get an upgrade. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, sorry guys, yeah, do that.
it's like one day we'll get our own personalized toilet where we just like,
that's a like 100,000. You get your own little bed and toilet section for yourselves. Like, yeah, we ain't getting there. Sorry, you're just gonna have to push for the extra bread at 500k.
The extra bread. It's like how exciting! Very exciting. We're gonna get some cool upgrades.
yeah, 4k. Haven't worked out what you're getting there yet. I think we'll fit in a shower.
It's like
with hot water.
It's like now you won't have to come in and smell a big stench every time you're in there.
Yeah, you're not gonna be stinky.
It's just like, I've never come up with I guess really anything funny with the Team Cola over here. It's like, I don't know.
They did it themselves. The chat did it themselves, and I don't know where they took it, but they've taken it and rolled with it, and I'm just following in their steps at this point.
Yeah, it's just a basement. Like, there's nothing there yet, but like soon there will be. Like once everyone gets in there.
Shh! Don't tell them that there's nothing there, or they don't get in.
It's like no, it's a
and there's food.
There's everything you could possibly need.
And a window. One tiny window. But a window!
it's a tiny window. It's locked all the time though, but but that's for a proper reason though.
Stop poking your hands through the window.
it's like just they're trying to open the window. It's like, no, we're not opening that window.
Stop trying to open the window.
It's like you don't want to see Bunny when they get mad.
Yeah, I'll eat you.
Yeah.
Not like a vole way, I'll just eat you because, like, food.
Yes.
Oh,
food.
my brain is thinking so much of food.
It's like I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, should we wrap up the podcast soon so you can get food?
Please, or I'm gonna eat my mic.
It's just like it's like just eats the mic. But yeah, it's like, is there anything I guess that you want to talk about before we leave, or anyone in chat have anything they want to ask quickly before Bunny leaves? Because
no.
Nope. Anything you want to ask me before I guess we head off the podcast?
No.
It's like it's just
No.
Nope. Brain empty. Want food.
Brain empty. Brain empty. Brain wants beans on toast.
It's like the classic beans on toast.
Alright. I saw beans in the cupboard the other day. I went, oh, beans on toast would be good.
I mean, it is pretty good.
It is. And I don't understand how people don't like it.
It's just it's an easy thing to get. It's so easy.
Yeah, I found out it's because Americans have different beans to us, though, and they're like, "Ew, why would you have like British beans with tomato sauce when you get Mexican beans?" And I'm like, "They're both good beans, but you just don't use them in the same sense. Just for different foods."
It's so simple. Baked beans on toast. You just like go get bread, get baked beans, slap it on toast.
Yes. Oh.
It's like yum.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, I can't really think of much else, I guess, to talk about. Like, we've basically covered every sort of topic I could think of at this point.
Everything my hungry brain can think of currently.
It's like, actually, I guess one thing before we go, like, I guess could be either simple or complex depending on how you look at it. What made you decide to become a VTuber?
I hate my face.
That's a simple answer. Yeah, that's the simple answer. Like,
that's it. And a lot of people are probably like, "Oh, you wanted to do it to strive in and be cool." Nope, I hate my face. I saw Kiss in the Eye doing it back in 2018, and I wanted to do something very similar.
Yeah.
I wanted to stream and make content about showing my face, and then I did a little bit from time to time. And then when V-Roid started to pop up, I made a V-Roid, and then I streamed under Anonymous that I will not discuss into too much detail. And then that kind of went up in a shit fire, and I changed to Bunny.
Yeah, like I think for me it was more just like, I saw Kizuna AI like sort of around, but I didn't think of it as VTubing at that point. And then suddenly I saw Project Melody come on the scene, and I was like, oh.
You saw Mel, huh?
That was the first VTuber I saw.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Some cultured sort of mentions, I guess.
Very cultured, yeah.
Very cultured in the beginning, but like I was just like, oh, a VTuber broke a certain website on their debut. Very cool. And then certain a YouTuber, Lost Pause, ended up doing some interview with Project Melody, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Kind of cool VTuber concept thing. Like I'll just follow along and watch it while I become a IRL streamer. And then suddenly I just was like, yeah, I don't really want to show my face all the time on stream, so VTuber.
Understandable. I don't think I'd show my face. I like not on stream. Like it's fine showing like the odd picture from like Comic-Con, but it's not my face.
Yeah, it's like cosplay and
yeah. I definitely would rather people see this. Yeah. I have thought of doing other things with this and turning it into like a girlfriend experience, but like I don't want to make people awkward with that because I thought it'd be funny.
True. Man, I'm still coming up with more things. Like it's like I know you're gonna get food, and then I'm just thinking. Well,
sorry. It's just like it's like lunchtime, and I woke up really early, thinking like it was at 8 my time. We got the times wrong. So it was 9 my time. So I didn't eat breakfast, and then now it's lunchtime. So I've not actually eaten since like yesterday evening.
Oh man, like I went to a little sort of convention, like really local sort of convention today, and I got up so early and I was like, oh wow, okay, like I'm up early, and I'm thinking, am I still gonna have energy to do all this stuff? Yes, I am. I'm gonna make myself. But
that's what coffee's for.
But yeah, like I guess probably the final thing, I guess, hopefully, to ask. I think I remember you were talking about one point ASMR streams or ASMR content. Like, I have a liking for ASMR content, I will admit. I've become a fan of it because I've got sleep issues. So, like, what are your thoughts on ASMR?
I don't personally like ASMR that much. However, I do quite like Fauna's ASMR because I think it's quite nice to the ears.
Fair point. Yeah, like
I like doing it. I think it's funny, but like I think a lot of things I did a lot of like voice stuff like with music and acting growing up, and I just really like doing stuff and like impressions and stuff. I think they're really fun. So I like doing anything that kind of involves me manipulating my voice. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, and I guess ASMR can kind of do that a little bit because
it's a lot of voice manipulation. There's also a lot of because there's a lot of control and making sure you're keeping to a certain tone, a certain sort of rhythm to it. And you can also do like role plays of it where you can do like brother, sister, classmate.
Yeah, I actually, funny enough, started an ASMR channel back in I think July, August time, and I was surprised with how well it actually sort of went.
I wanted to, but like I don't really I don't know how to explain. I can't understand like these people that manage to get it to draw out to like an hour.
Yeah, I can't bloody do that. Like I
could probably do it for like 20 minutes and that's about it.
Yeah, that's probably like my limit too. Like it's like I prefer the idea of like doing, I guess, the ASMR roleplay script sort of thing, because it's just like I can just follow a script and try and make a character, try and sort of imagine myself in that, and then go with it. But it's definitely not easy if you're not feeling inspired by the script you're reading. So
yeah,
so I was like trying to find different scripts to try and read, and because I think I do tend to see a lot more, obviously, ASMR sort of content where like females are the ones sort of reading the scripts. So like you don't see a lot of male ASMR sort of script readers, I guess, from my experience. So looking,
maybe it's just go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so like looking for scripts like that sort of aim more for like, I guess, a male to like a female audience tends to be a lot more difficult, I find.
I'm coming from like a partly bisexual like point of view.
Yeah.
But also I find a woman, to me, when she's being smooth and soft with her voice, can be more relaxing. How do I say this without like being judged? When a guy's like that, it's definitely more arousing.
Yeah. The first ASMR script I tried reading was a Yandere Prince ASMR, and I had to try. Yeah. I tried getting myself into like a whole Yandere sort of like, it's like you're never gonna leave sort of thing, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
That can be quite arousing, I assume.
Yeah, I was just like reading it, and I'm like, man, I liked reading it. It was good, And then it popped off really well, and I was like, man, I actually kind of like this. And then I did another couple of scripts, some that I was like shocked by how many people listened to it. And I was like, oh, 13,000 people listen to this? What?
Jeez.
Yeah, I was just like, and this one was like me pretending to be like a high school bully, and I'm not really the type to be a high school bully sort of guy. So it was like, people listen to this? And I haven't really been able to kind of, I guess, replicate that same joyful feeling of making it since. But
yeah, that's understandable. Because, like, I've made a few things recently. I've really enjoyed making them. I haven't had the time to like make more of them, which is why I wanted this week to sort of do that. But like there was a few times where I made like a couple like copy pasta wraps, and like a couple of them like really popped off, and then but I haven't felt the same joy in making them since, and it makes me really sad because I really liked making them.
Yeah, there's that whole sort of like switching around to different things because you want to try different things. Like you don't want to stick to one thing for too long.
My channel looks so messy sometimes. I don't want to make like channels for different things, but my channel's got like copy pasta wraps, comforting. Like it's not really an ASMR. I just like doing like comforting like speeches and like a soft voice because I feel like it's quite nice for people.
Yeah, like for me, I guess because the way I got into ASMR was I stumbled upon a stream one time where someone just was doing an ASMR stream. I think it might have been one of Vivi's streams possibly at the time. And I just was like...
That's the thing, it's like, I don't like ASMR from anyone that isn't Fauna. Sorry,
yeah,
I don't
Fauna,
like it from people that isn't... Fauna's definitely someone that gets me,
Yeah,
that's like the only... I think every time I've heard ASMR from anyone else, it makes me uncomfortable most of the time.
Yeah, I've usually got like my select few sort of people I really like listening to ASMR from, and it's like, and then I basically developed a sleep playlist with it where I would just like sleep to it, and because I was trying to get off my sleep tablets at the time because I didn't really want to be on my sleep tablets at that point, even though they're nothing bad. I was just like, I want to get off them. I want to see if I can do that and just find something else that works. So. I ended up deciding, oh, well, lockdown's in effect. I've kind of got time to try this and see if it works. So
I feel like it does, and like it's really helps you like relax your whole body, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. Like within like a first few ASMR sort of videos I listened to, like one was from I think. What was the channel? Like, I could definitely look up the channel and remember it. Like, I just can't think of the name.
I will not go looking.
I mean, this channel, I think you'll find this channel has a very good... And the reason I say this is because the voice is very similar to Fauna.
Is it Lemon Leaf?
Yes.
Wow, I love Lemon Leaf. Wow, they are like they are almost identical.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder why. I wonder. Speculation.
Sauce. So anyway, fun.
So some of their stuff was the first I listened to, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." And then I found. I think I found Darling Straub after that, then like obviously Vivi's streams as well, and a few others like from time to time, like DTL as well. They definitely are not just for the wholesome side of things. Just saying.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
giving me some ideas there.
Yeah, like they definitely don't have.
I'd love to do like lewd ASMR. I think that could be fun.
That would be fun. And then yeah, they definitely don't have a sus page where they have, instead of dudes that's wholesome, it's dude that's something else. But It's like,
wow, I suddenly have to go and sort myself out.
Yeah, so yeah, they definitely got some good stuff, like, and a lot of them have helped, like, just made, I guess, my sleep life a lot easier. So
Fair enough.
yeah, so that's how I developed my liking for ASMR. At first I completely dismissed it and was like, nah, that's weird.
I think I want to try doing some lewd versions on like a different channel, and because I like I'm trying to like make this safe for
Yeah, I get you.
like I guess I'm like teasing. So I like really like I'm trying to like make this
It's
so
always
this
hard to
isn't a
come up
moment
with.
that someone can look back on and then clip me and then throw it in my face. I like I did this a lot with someone. I like teasing them and kind of amping them up and then being like, Lamau, I ain't doing shit, sort yourself out.
Yeah, you just do like that whole sort of like, you're just building up that kind of that tension.
Pleases me. Not partly sexually, but mostly a genuine amusement that I can build someone up enough and then just turn around and go, sort yourself out. I ain't doing that.
Oh yeah, like I've seen a bunch of clips from some VTubers out there where it's suddenly just like a really weird context, like, and it sounds wrong, and suddenly it's just like next minute it's like you just whatever you thought is just like nah. No, it's just something wholesome.
I'm just gonna start talking to you about one of my favorite things in the world. It gives me so much pleasure. It's so big and hard, and it's so amazing. And sometimes it's super duper juicy, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
A little giddy inside. Man, apples are great.
Yes, I think Pandora's done a few of those clips, I think, as well. Like, where it's just suddenly it's like you think some weird context to it, and then suddenly it's just like, oh, this is good, and it's like, huh? But it's just so funny at the same time.
Man,
like,
I'll have to give them a try.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you should just do like a bunch of like, it's like clips where it's just like, oh, like this is like so good, you know, and then like
this is so good. It's so big. I don't even know how I'm gonna get it in. It's like, wow, this is so nice.
And then it's just suddenly just like a big meal or some shit, and it's like, man, I'm not gonna be able to get
this. This turkey.
Bro, this turkey is so big. Like, how am I gonna fit this in? Yeah, like, it's like I've really been thinking about doing some funny, wholesome clips, like kind of wholesome clips like that too. Like, just be like, just for the sus context.
Not even the sus context, just for the fact that someone will start watching that, start getting it on, and it'll just ruin their mood, and you'll just be there laughing like a clown.
Yeah, like suddenly it's like, just imagine you do like a 15-minute video where you're just leading someone on.
15-minute build up of me telling someone and building them up, and then just to turn around and be like, no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just be like, so the trees outside are very good. Yeah. It's like, you just be like, that's some this is probably going to sound funny, I guess, but it's like,
that's some good wood.
Yeah, that's some good morning wood out there.
Not the wood in the morning. It looks so good.
You just build them up,
and the light shines, and it makes it look.
It would be the best.
Pleasant. I just want to touch it.
It would be the best troll. It'd be the best troll video.
Bro, I'm gonna start doing those videos. Watch me do them.
Yes, I'll just be there and I'll just be like watching this and just be like,
I'll take the headband off too. I can do it so it makes it seem more sensual. And it's just like, and then the video just slowly like zooms in.
Yeah,
and then it like.
Yeah, it's like yeah, you wanna see this, like, and it's like, oh. Oh, like this big orange I have or some shit.
This orange.
Yeah. It's like, what? What did you think you were gonna see?
What did you think I was gonna say? Pervert.
Oh man, it's just so funny. Like, but yeah, we keep coming up with so much stuff to talk about. Like,
I'm sorry.
but it's so good. It's so good. Like, I just love talking. Like, it's just fun. Just
Do this
fun.
again. Maybe not attached, so we could do like an actual collab. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like not a podcast is what I mean. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
game.
yeah. Just
I'm
like
good at words.
it's like cozy Minecraft or
Maybe-
like some Mario Kart.
Maybe when I've actually eaten.
Yeah. It's like I remember I did my first ever collab I did with Momo was a Mario Kart collab, and like Momo was like saying, "I'm gonna so beat you at Mario Kart," and then I just like, and then came in and like I just demolished Momo in Mario Kart.
Did you beat me at Mario Kart? Do you think?
I feel like you'll probably have a lot more practice probably.
Yeah. Only a little. Only a bit.
I mean, I haven't played Mario Kart in probably 5 months, 6 months.
That, and I could do a giant thing because the new ones come out soon, right? We could do like a giant thing with friends and stuff, and I could just be like, any friends that want to play, just hit me up, and then I'll open up a call and we can all just like play together.
Yeah, that would be so fun. Like,
yeah, I'll see if there's any like friends that want to do that, and then we can have like a giant like Mario Kart collab for the new ones coming out.
Yeah, I'm so down for that. Like, Mario Kart's like probably one of my favorite games just to play on stream because it's just like
it's so fun.
It's like I've also played Smash Bros a few times, and that's pretty good too.
I feel like Smash across country might be a bit hard. I've heard it gets a bit laggy.
Yeah, I was playing online matches just with some randoms from chat, and it can get very laggy. I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Mario Kart at least would be stable.
Yeah, I can see when that gets released then, and then I can ask a few friends around if they want to join in for Mario Kart, and if they do, then I'll let you know, and I'll like be like, "Yo, we got a Mario Kart collab going."
It's like we got Mario Kart, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love like just fun, simple games. Like even just like chill Minecraft to me is fun. I love building stuff.
Minecraft.
Like Minecraft.
I have to log back onto the server and see how that be going.
But yeah, I think we. I think we can.
I need to eat.
I think we can wrap it up here. Like we've basically talked about everything we could think of, like to this point. And I guess before we end up coming up with something else that we want to talk about, or just
yes,
talk,
we need to stop before I get to a point where I get super hungry. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like, alrighty. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast. And fun fact with the podcasts, like I do tend to put them up as YouTube sort of VODs. So people can look back on
I'm
them.
clippable.
It's like if you want to go in, I won't encourage the clipping unless people are really, really, really so just dedicated to it. The fun,
doomed.
It's like the fun clippable moments. I mean, the positive side, it's good promo. It's good promo.
Guess. Yeah, promo that I like blue ballsing people. Yeah, just promote to people that I love it when I blue balls people. It gives me great pleasure.
I find it funny. It's good. Like just the fun of it.
That's the type of pleasure.
I mean, hey, it's funny. Like you'll get some clips possibly, maybe.
True.
If I guess if your viewers end up finding it. But
true.
But yeah, and also funny enough, I actually started releasing it on Spotify because I was like, hey, podcast for the road.
Might as well.
Podcast
Might as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm on Spotify. Mom, I'm on Spotify.
It's like, hey, Mom, I'm on Spotify.
Mom, I'm on Spotify.
But yeah, like, I hope everyone has enjoyed the podcast. I hope you, Bunny, have enjoyed having fun chatting about fun
had
things.
a lot of fun. Thank
Yeah,
you for
nice,
having me.
nice, cozy, fun stream.
Yes, see, I can be a cozy streamer.
Yeah, it's like I find like a lot of your streams tend to be either like can just be like fun chaos, like just fun chaos, or it can be just fun to just listen in and kind of go while I'm yeah.
I worry I bore people with my streams, but I guess
No, I find it entertaining. In all seriousness, like I find it like really entertaining.
it means a lot to hear. Thank you, because I do worry a lot.
Yeah, it's like I'll just be the guy in like Discord or just in Twitch chat, just be like, it's like if you're doubting yourself, head pat there. Just
Thank you.
it's like I used to feel quite insecure about my streams and just be like, man, are people really gonna like my streams? And then I turned off the view count and then I just stopped.
I turned that off years ago and just started just doing it for me, but I still worry that I bore the people that are there.
Yeah, I still used to have my view count in the corner, but like I disabled it, but I still had it there, so I was still technically looking at it and kind of
No, you should never look at your view count. I had to get rid of my follower thing that I had up from when we were pushing for 3K because I was like, that's not healthy for me either.
Yeah, like I find for me, like well, yes, I do have the follower goal sort of thing there. I kind of just go, I don't think about it as much because, like, as I did with view count, weirdly enough, like maybe I just thought view count was like the so-called more important thing, I guess, to me. But
I wouldn't say anything is important, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, like I just keep the follower goal just to kind of be like, hey, like let's see if we can get to it, and maybe we'll do something fun at 400. Because at 300, I actually promised an IRL card stream.
Let's go.
So I'm going to eventually, when I can get a setup, because I'm not doing it at my place because I don't have the room to do a big setup for it. So at my friend's place, I'm going to do an IRL sort of a game similar to Cards Against Humanity, but like an IRL stream where you get to see us all playing it.
Oh,
and I'll try and do like an over-the-top view where you could see the cards we're playing and stuff. So that'll be kind of cool whenever that happens. But yeah, either way, we will wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you all have enjoyed having fun. And we will see you all in some other stream, maybe on Bunny's channel or my channel, who knows, whenever happens. So we shall see you all laters.
Bye bye. Thank you.